Fight!
Det viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay.
On the street and I got my swag on.
Okay.
Get the money, gotta get my bag on.
Okay.
Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcend.
It's how we do.
Diving to me it's like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
aller viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
The Irish Drift Series, the 2026 season of Irish National Drifting is here upon us. We're back for round 1 here at Mondello Park. Let's catch some reactions from some of the drivers. This track has been absolutely on a fire this morning for practice, and as we head into qualifying a little bit later on today, let's see how the drivers are getting on. Obviously, first driver up is our Pro 2 champion, Jake Davey, here on the left side. Refresh of the car, obviously last year winning the Pro 2 Championship with Nissan S14, SR20. Let's try and see, can we get a few words from him before he heads out for his practice run, as it seems like they're having a bit of car issues here. What's up, lads? Do you have a time there for a little word or anything like that? How's Jake getting on, Nicky?
Yeah, he was getting on great there up to the last 2 minutes. Car won't start here on the grid, so we have to try and get him pushed to see what it starts.
Well, I won't be helping with the pushing. I'll let you head that up to yourselves. I have a job to do. That's Jake Davey, obviously Pro 2 champion. One of the favourites actually to possibly win it this year. It's quite rare that we have a Pro 2 champion come in with such momentum from the end of last season. Obviously, you got Alex Butler, rookie driver from last season as well. A very young guy, BMW E46. What a weapon of a car. Next up here, we've got Ben Rogers. Let's have a chat with Ben Rogers. A nice fresh look for the S14 this year. Nice grey and red livery. And we've got Ben here. Ben, how are you getting on? We're here live on the live stream. How are you finding it?
Tricky enough there today. We've been out of the car about 6 or 7 months, so it's just trying to find our feet again. But we're here to have fun at the end of the day, so that's the main thing. We're enjoying it. The weather's good, the sun's good. Yeah.
Awesome stuff, Ben. Well, best of luck today. Have some fun in qualifying later on. That's Ben Rogers. Again, another, last season being his rookie pro campaign, doing quite well overall in the season. Back again for another year in the pro class. We've got the one and only Leon Lynch with a unique conversion here. Leon, nice to see you back once again. We see something a bit unique. 180 fronted, S14.9. How are you finding practice this morning in this 1UZ Monster?
Yeah, it's going well. It's extremely hot in the car, so that's a bit of a struggle, but the car's going all right, so hopefully we can have a good result now today or tomorrow. So yeah, happy enough. Sun's shining as well, so you have to be happy, you know.
That's exactly it. You can't complain with that. Leon, obviously taking a break from last season. This Lemon style drift team, absolutely fantastic looking cars. And once again, Leon, this 1UZ Monster, S14, 180 fronted, S15 rear ended, S14, whatever contraption you want to make out of it. Absolutely great looking car. We've got Johnny Flynn back once again, he's S14. Looks like he just did a nice engine refresh in the off season. Back once again, making some nice power over the off season. We got Owen Magner again with a brand new look, the Drift Burger 186. Let's have a quick chat with you, Owen. Owen, how's practice getting on with this SR20 Monster?
Yesterday we didn't have a great day. We only managed half a lap, and with some fuel issues we managed to sort them out yesterday evening. So we're after one lap now. All is feeling good, feeling very comfortable in the car after rebuilding it during the off season, and hopefully now we'll get another few laps before the Pro 2s are back out.
Awesome stuff, Owen. Best of luck later on today. Obviously, Owen, come from the North Cork area, so quite familiar with the Shanahans and James Deans. Quite a fantastic driving talent. We've got Matt Smith here from the UK, Drift League GB driver here on visitation. We've got Chris O'Callaghan behind you in his Nissan 180SX, the rally sensation here in Ireland. But look at this machine, Mr. Cameraman. A Mark II Escort. Quite a unique chassis. This is John McCarthy. We've known John McCarthy for many, many years. Quite an OG of the Irish drift scene in his infamous yellow chassis that he builds. But we'll have a quick chat. Well, come on, John. Let's have a quick chat with you. You don't have to get out of the car. No, we want you to stay nice and pretty inside. John, this is an incredible chassis, incredible Mark II Escort, utilising the unique rules of IDS, building something unique. Can you give us a quick rundown of what we're looking at here and how you're finding it today?
It's a bit of a monster of a car, I suppose. It's got a mismatch of a lot of different bits. It's got some Beamer stuff up the front, some Pajero Jeep stuff at the back. It's got a Honda engine with a turbo on it. It's kind of a very mixed match car running about 500 horsepower. But it's great fun. Did my first practice run there and it cut out going through the first corner, so not a good start. I think we have it sorted, so yeah, it seems quick enough out there now as well. Once I got it going again, it seems to be pretty good, so hopefully.
Of course, for our international fans, especially the US fans, this will be essentially the Ford Fox body of Europe. The Ford Mark II Escort, infamous rally chassis here in Europe, especially here in Ireland. And what a weapon this thing is. As John said earlier, BMW front end, Mitsubishi Pajero, so basically an off-roader Jeep, rear end, a solid axle, Honda engine. What a contraption of a chassis, but it's super unique here in IDS, having these type of builds. Unique rule sets allow us to have these unique chassis, and that's what drifting's all about, something unique, and obviously expressing yourself along the way. Next up we got Martin Wonnacott, also from the UK, in his Chaser JX100. Martin, an infamous OG again of drifting, been around for many, many years, and it's great to see him here coming to Ireland for a few runs. We've got Jack Moini in his E46. Declan Byrne is back, as Jack says hello. And we've got Mark McKevitt in his 180, David Garvey in his S13, but we're going to have a chat with Darrell. This is not any particular BMW E46, it's quite a unique body kit on this, so we'll have a quick look, have a quick chat with Darrell. Oh, he's showing us some damage here on the chassis, as he had obviously a hit earlier on. Darrell, you're having a bit of fun in practice. How is this car getting on for you?
Yeah, it's going good. We had a wee oopsie there in the first run, but sure, that's what it's about. You know, it's not going to stay mint forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep sending it.
Yeah. Very good. Well, best of luck anyway. Later on, Darrell, of course. Darrell, driving his E46 chassis for a number of years, come back with a fresh look. This is quite common, well, I would say common, but uncommon here in Ireland, having the F22 BMW 2 Series body kit on an E46. But you know what? To be honest with you, I must say it looks much better than E46. So Darrell doing a great job on that. We've got a good friend of mine here, Dean Martin, coming back from a hiatus of many, many years, borrowing a car, Nathan Corcoran's BMW E46. Dean.
Hello, Alan.
How are you getting on? It's been a bit of a long time since you've been in a pro car, so how are you feeling?
6 years. And not coming back in a car like my own, a very, very capable car.
Yeah.
800 horsepower, all the bits, like it's different car altogether. Like.
It kind of makes your old E36 kind of look like a paperweight.
Prehistoric.
Well, best of luck to you, Dean. Obviously, Dean, a pro driver for many years, coming back from a hiatus, as he said, and it's great to see him. This is another unique chassis. This is an R33 Skyline, but it's not any type of R33 Skyline. It's actually got a front end converted from an S14 front suspension. Again, another car using the unique IDS rule format. We'll get Adam to give us a bit of a word. Adam, not many changes made over the off-season. Well, we say that front suspension is different. What's your first impressions of it so far?
Yeah, it made a massive difference to the car. We spoke in work, myself and Mike, and we kind of said that changing this car to an S chassis front suspension would make the car drive so much nicer. Literally just changed the whole drivability about the car, and I'm glad I done it. It's a way better car to drive now.
That's great to hear. Again, like I said, in other championships, doing that kind of front-end conversion wouldn't be legal. It is legal here in IDS, unique rule format, allowing more unique chassis being competitive, which is kind of what we want to see in professional drifting here in Ireland. And that's about it. That's our great walk here in practice just before qualifying. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll head back to the commentary team up in the tower.
Hello everybody and welcome to Mondello Park for round one of the Irish Drift Series 2026 here at Japfest. The home of Irish motorsport and indeed the home of Irish drifting, where legendary names such as Ayrton Senna, Joy Dunlop and more recently James Dean have all given it their all in their various disciplines. 20 years ago at this very event we had Darren McNamara beating Damien Mulvey in the final of the Pro Drift Series, earning him an invitation to the D1 Grand Prix Invitational event at Irwindale in California, where his performance caught the eyes of Falcon Tyres, getting him a drive in the Formula Drift Championship, thus paving the way for our fantastic history of exporting Irish drivers who didn't just compete but often dominated on the world scene. All 16,000 of us are here today, and we're in for a treat here in the sunshine in Mondello Park, where we will see history made surely once again with a hungry grid of new drivers. My name is Mike Fitz. I've been lucky enough myself to drive in this event many times, but I swapped the steering wheel for the microphone for the time being, and I'm joined in the tower here by the one and only Adam Driver, who's now going to go through the schedule for the day. Adam, over to you.
Absolutely, Mike, a pleasure to be here. I was here yesterday with the Pro 2s and the driving was insane. I can't wait to see what the pros are going to provide for us today. The schedule of today is kicking off straight away with qualifying from around quarter past in the next 5 minutes or so, because quarter past the moment already, beating me to it. But the practice will be then started this morning at 9:30 this morning. We're kicking off qualifying very shortly. We're kicking off battles then from around 1:45 after we complete qualifying. Every driver will be getting 2 qualifying runs. We run through that, and our top 32 will be going through. But that's not all. We have some live action out on track for you today as well. We've got the rally buggies from the IRX, if I'm
correct, Adam, yeah.
Coming out on track to put on a show for you, as well as giving out some passenger spins. So that would be something for everyone here to look forward to. You'll have more information on that very shortly. Be chosen at random, as far as I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have a surprise for that as well later on, yeah.
Absolutely, so it'll be great for everyone to see. And then we'll be going straight into our top 16 parade to see the top 16 drivers of today out on track, showcasing their car, hyping up the crowd, and letting you see their cars up close and personal. As they drive around, we have a little chat with them, and you get to know them. Then we'll be going into the buggies as well from the IRX, giving on a bit of a demo, and then we'll have our podium hopefully around 5:30, all going well, Mike.
Absolutely, Adam, and I believe you're going to run through the calendar of the Irish Drift Series as well for this year.
Absolutely, so we have a stacked lineup this year, kicking off round 1 this weekend here in Japfest, and then next round is on the 4th and the 5th of July down on Watergrass Hill in Cork. It's a great venue, and it's always very entertaining to see out on track. Then we're heading up north for round 3 on August 1st and 2nd in Bishop's Court, Diff and Drift, a very unique venue, an ex-World War airfield, so it is, Mike. So very entertaining up there. And then we're back down the south. We're going to Kerry to one of Ireland's newest tracks, 360 Motorsports, just in Kilflynn, only 15 minutes away from my own home. A great track, always high tempo, high energy, and very entertaining to watch. Then we're going to the finals of the Pro 2 Championship in Watergrass Hill on October 3rd and 4th. So that'll be a really high, intense, very entertaining watch to see, because our Pro 2 Championship is like nothing else you'll see across the world. Then our grand finale, we're coming back here to Mondello Park on the 31st and the 31st of October and the 1st of November for an unreal event. A unique one, in fact, because we're going to be doing a whole new layout, one that's not been seen in many, many years, specially designed. You'll see more of that on our social media very soon in the coming weeks, but it's something you do not want to miss out on, so make sure you're following us online to see that.
Absolutely, we'll go through all of that, of course, later on. We'll have a good long day of drifting ahead, and we'll get to all of those points in greater detail later on. Now, before we kick off today's action, I do believe that we have a quick recap video. You guys obviously in Monday. This would prove to be a sign of things to come for the rest of the season. Round 2 took us up the north to Bishop's Court with the disused World War II airfield, which Adam just mentioned, throwing up several thrills and spills across that round. Ryusei would find himself on the podium once again, but this time the Ballymoney bandit Harry Kerr would beat Dwayne McKeever in the final, teeing up an epic battle between these two for the rest of the season. Round 3 took us all the way down to Cork to Watergrass Hill, a tight and technical track which is very familiar to several of the series regulars. After another day of the usual thrills and spills which this track does throw up, our search for the King of the Hill would end with Harry Kerr once again taking the top step on the podium down in Cork with an epic final. For round 4, we made our way once again back up to Bishop's Court for the Summer Showdown, where in the beautiful summer sunshine, returning Dylan Garvey, who we will be speaking about in a while, came back into the scene with a bang, beating both Harry Kerr and Dwayne McKeever to the top step of a podium packed with Driftmaster stars. And for round 5, the final round of the year, we split into 2 for the Pro 2 and Pro Championships. So the Pro 2 is once again taken to Watergrass Hill, but this time the drivers were sent up the hill in reverse layout, which is usually throwing up even more drama, to be honest. In a final which could have seen no less than 8 drivers being crowned Pro 2 champion, it was Jake Davey who took the spoils in a very, very tight final which went down to the wire. And for the last round of the Pro Series, we headed to the hills of Kerry to 360 Motorsports Park, where the steeply banked course threw up yet another set of challenges for the drivers. Just like the Pro 2s, the Pro Championship came down to the wire, with Harry Kerr and Dwayne McKeever mercilessly battling for top spot all season. Dylan Garvey would once again feature, though, taking out both Harry Kerr and McKeever on the way to the top step. And with McKeever progressing further than Kerr on the day, that would mean that the Northern Smoke Machine would add this to his already prestigious trophy collection, and it was crowned 2025 Irish Drift Series champion. So that is it, guys, for 2025, and we're back with Irish Drifting for 2026. Now, we have several talking points coming into this round, guys. We're going to keep it brief and get going with qualifying, but basically here today in Japfest, which is always an unbelievable event, I'm sure you're aware of, we have 40 of Ireland's top drivers. Now, 4 of those have come up from the Pro 2 series yesterday, which we had on the street legal tires. So today we're going to be on 265 maximum with semi-slick racing tires, which makes everything go much faster. You need more horsepower, there's more speed, everything just ramps up several levels. Those Pro 2s will have to have found some tires overnight, because they will have to keep up with the pace of these pro guys, but they will be coming in with a lot of practice under their belts from yesterday. The weather is looking good. There's a quick shower expected possibly around 3 o'clock for top 32, so that could throw a little bit of a spanner in the works. Dwayne McKeever and Harry Kerr have left us, but in their place we have Dylan Garvey doing a full season of IDS this year. Dylan competed in 4 events last year, and he took the win in 3 of those events, which is an unbelievable record. So he's coming in hot to this championship. The man which might be able to stop him might be Jakub Krysiak, the former Pro 2 champion. He's been rebuilding his car over the winter and now has 830 brake horsepower with that 2JZ. And with plenty of pro experience now under his belt, he's sure to be bringing the fight to the Kilkenny man this season. Another driver to watch will be young Jack Caldwell, the Strabane native and former junior champion. Has been growing in both talent and maturity in recent years, and I think that this might be the year when he really comes of age. So we have a track with 7 clipping points and 7 clipping points and zones designed by head judge Kieran Hines, with Mondello's usual challenging elevation change thrown into the mix. We do have a quick video to walk you through that, just for the live stream viewers at home, and I'm going to talk over it here to run you guys through exactly how you score.
Series virtual track preview for round 1 at Mondello Park. Drivers leave the line with 100 points and lose points for any error made throughout the run. As we follow a virtual drifter into clip 1, drivers are expected to have a committed entry, maintaining momentum. From here, drivers must maintain the ideal line into clip 2 with drift speeds exceeding 120 km per hour. Drivers are expected to carry smooth angle and decent momentum throughout this area. Any major decelerations in this area will be hit with a major deduction of upwards of 10 points. Carry this line through clipping point 3 as we head into the first of 3 transitions on this layout. Smooth and committed is the key to a high score here as we enter our first decel zone of the layout. Maintain a wide line through zone 4, but be aware any wheels over the edges of the zone will be hit at a minimum 5-point deduction. Transition quickly over to clip 6 and then transition once again to run the first wall. Follow the outside line to wall 2 and follow the line once again to clip 7 to maximise the score. So that is it for your virtual track preview for IDS round 1. Let's head back to the real life action.
The handbrake, they want to see full commitment, full impact, big tire smoke, rev limiters. That's exactly what we want to see from drifting and from these pro drivers. And with that, as I regain my breath, Adam, I do believe that we're ready to warm the car. So each driver gets 2 qualifying runs, non-consecutive. They run once, they go back into the pits, get their car reset up, whatever, go back out onto the line and do their second run later on. And we are in reverse championship order from last season, so in theory at least the bigger runs should be dropping in according as the guys who got on very well last season get to the line. The first drivers to get to the line, of course, will be our Pro 2 competitors from yesterday, the guys who made it into the top 4 out of 80 drivers yesterday. So 80 competitors and only 4 made it into pro action today here at Japfest. And the first of those four, Adam, it is Glenn McKillen in the S chassis. And I don't know, did he get semi-slick tyres? A lot of drivers will opt, some of these might opt to stay on the road tyres, but we'll find out in a second, because Glenn McKillen is getting us underway here, guys, for Japfest action at round 1 of the Irish Drift Series 2026. And it's an SR20 under the bonnet of this beautiful WeBuy car sponsored 180SX. Beautiful green, yellow and pink livery in that car. Very rare to see an SR20 powering these cars anymore, but Glenn McKillen still campaigning it. Gets it nice and close to the wall there, feathers the throttle onto the outside line, onto the second wall and across the line. Guys, round of applause for our first car out, Glenn McKillen.
Absolutely outstanding run for our first driver of Japfest 2026. Glenn really showed his talents yesterday to us in the Pro 2 category and deserves every single bit of it to be here in front of you all for the main event of the Pro 1s. We're just waiting for his score to drop in from the judges, and it's in. It's 73 on the board for Glenn McKillen. A strong score to start off with, Mike, but we've seen the talent that is out there. 73 may not even be enough to make him into battle action later on this evening, because yesterday the cut-off point was actually 83.7.
It was indeed, Adam, you're absolutely right. And a man now which impressed me a lot yesterday, Niall McInerney from Clare, actually so good in this BMW yesterday. Very, very planted on. We do put those gritty back 12 on, everything gets much harder to drive. I'm not sure if Niall has opted to stay on the road tyres of yesterday. I think he has actually. He doesn't look like he's very fast, but he looks very stable, which would lead me to believe that he is on the road tyres. A lot of left foot brake there around outer zone 4 from the Clare man. Looking very good. Some BC Racing coilovers got into this over the winter, and a lot of setup with him and his brother Jason putting in the hours in the shed over the winter. Feathers the throttle across the line, fills up zone 7. Guys, that is Niall McInerney up from Pro 2 yesterday. Once again, reverse championship order, 2 laps for each driver to get it done.
Absolutely, another outstanding run there from 3rd place of yesterday, and his score is dropping in. And look at this, Mike, we're already getting close to the 90s. It's 89.7 for Niall McInerney.
Wow.
What an outstanding run. The second run of the day, and we're already nearly touching the 90s.
That is absolutely crazy from a Pro 2 driver. But of course, you know, you put them up against the fast cars with the semi-slicks in battle action later, and it might not work out so good, but we'll see what David Ford, I was speaking with this guy in the pub in the hotel last night. He was psyched for today. He did get semi-slicks, I know that much. And look, yes, he looks quite fast through the course here. You could see the extra grip. Now, Dave has been practicing this morning on semi-slicks, and he did mention to me last night that he was struggling. He was struggling with the gear change. This is a 1UZ turbo Toyota engine under the bonnet of this Nissan Skyline, but he did mention that he was struggling a little bit with the downshift from 4th to 3rd around zone 4 there, and just as we didn't want to see, it did catch him out there, so it'll be a small score for there for David. It's a 51, which will not see him in battle action, I would say, because we have 32 places available for 40 drivers here in Pro.
That's for sure. 51, he'll have to give it everything on his second qualifying run. That car in the off-season being set up thinking he's only going to be driving in the Pro 2 category on the street tyres, so maybe not exactly what he needs to be pushing the grippy semi-slicks that are out there today.
Well, you just said grippy semi-slicks there, Adam. I know we've mentioned them a lot already, but you know what? Justin Murphy might be after breaking a half shaft on the line. We're just hearing here from the start line marshal. Those rear tyres with all the extra grip can put a lot of strain on the transmission. So Justin Murphy there, possibly in the burnout box with that extra strain on the transmission, breaking a half shaft in his BMW. The local man literally across the road here from Mondello Park invited us all in for tea actually after the podium yesterday. Well, I invited us into his house for tea.
True, yes.
But we didn't get it anyway either way. But you know what, we didn't get to see Justin Murphy, but hopefully they will have a half shaft spare there in the paddock, or he can nip home to the garage. But look at this, it's Declan Byrne here in his S14. Super entertaining driver, always so aggressive. Watch this from Declan Byrne. Actually doesn't flick it in over the hill. Of course, a lot of drivers will opt to not go absolutely crazy on the first lap. They'll just keep it kind of a little bit steady, get the score on the board, and then go mad on the second one. So keep an eye out for Deck on the second lap. But this beautiful S14 Zinky, look at the lovely silver livery, loses the back bumper off the wall there, just goes a little bit shy from the second wall and a tiny bit shy from the very outside of the track. Guys, let's hear it for Declan Byrne, our first pro driver through. And we are
always putting on a show for us. Last year in the Pro 2 category, he was a real shine through. He showed his talents. He's always a hard charger and always puts on a show for everyone in attendance. And you can see that already by deleting the rear bumper in the back end of his car. Yep. I'm sure it put a good score on the board, and it does. It's an 81 for Declan Byrne on his first qualifying run. Don't know will that be enough to get him into battle action though later on. There's a lot of drivers to go yet and a lot of talent on this grid.
There is indeed, yeah. Declan is capable of
second run.
He's capable of 90s though all day long, so
that's for sure, Mike.
No,
we're going to move on to one of the Davies. There's 3 Davies, in fact, on the grid today. A father and 2 sons. We're coming up to Dean Davey, who came up from the Pro 2 category last year, brother of Jake Davey, who won the Pro 2 championship. Dean is very remarkable in his driving as well. You can see him coming over the hill here in his stylish new 180 SX with a family livery, getting through 1 into 2, all the way into 3 as he leaves a big trail of smoke around the track with them semi-slicks, fulfilling zone 4 absolutely perfect. Just out of it a bit too early, not exactly what the judge trying to see. Nearly missing zone 5 here. Dragging the handbrake to get into 6, corrects himself and gets back online. I do think the judge are really going to remark him on that late or that early entry or exit, I should say.
360 across the line as well. But yeah, I think he really good lap overall, but he did definitely transition way too early after 4, and as you said, met zone 5 early and came away from it too early. So the judges will be very, very technical on that kind of thing. It's not the hardest part of the course either to get right, so I think they're going to mark him down quite a lot. And yeah, 71.3 there for Dean Davey, but again, a man who is well capable of doing a lot better, and we'll see him later on. Now, I know this car, it's Nathan Corcoran's car, and it's my old buddy Dean Martin, who I shared the grid with many times. The man from Drogheda driving Nathan Corcoran's 800 brake horsepower 2JZ E46. Nathan just about failing to qualify in this car yesterday, but he said, you know what, Dean, you want to spin for today in Japfest, get my car out there, buddy, and have fun. So great stuff there from Nathan Corcoran, letting his, I don't know how much this thing costs. Would it be, what, 80,000 euros of a car?
It'd be a pretty penny, all right, Mike. We've seen many drivers use this car before on the pro side of things, and actually take it all the way to podium.
But yeah, Dave Garvey definitely got it on the podium in Watergrass Hill last season. That's correct. So we are just waiting for everything to be right here on track, I believe, as I think that's Kevin on the start line there, our start line marshal under the Red Bull start line. And you can see the heat already building. Look on the live stream there, and Dean Martin actually just closing and opening the door very quickly in order to air out the car, because these things get super hot, especially in the sunshine. They bleed so much heat into the cabin. It's absolutely crazy. But you know what? He's going now that he won't be worried about that. He'll be just thinking about the initiation point here in Mondello Park, and he does flick it in over the hill here in Mondello. Beautiful entry there from Dean Martin. Look at the speed of this 2JZ E46 BMW. Beautiful livery as well. One of the best looking cars on the grid for sure. And you know what, driving it like it's his own BMW, running a little bit wide there, too much aggression on the second or the first wall, sorry, nice on the second wall and across the line from Dean Martin. But guys, for a borrowed car, round of applause for Dean Martin in the borrowed car there.
Absolutely outstanding run, Mike. Great line, not too much angle, but exactly the line the judges want to see, until he hits zone 6 here in front of the grandstand, dropping a few tyres, and the judges have marked him on that. It's a 74.7 for Dean Martin on his first qualifying run. Strong number, but is it going to be enough for battle action later on, Mike? These scores are already getting high.
Yeah, it'll be tight, so we can see that now next on the line we should have, who I believe should be Matt Smith, all the way from Exeter in England, the garage owner, 44 years of age, and heading up the track here. No, it is Martin Wonnacott. My apologies when the live stream updated there. No, it's not Martin Wonnacott, because that's not Martin Wannacott's car. It is Matt Smith. The graphic is wrong. Sorry, two cars looking very similar, but I saw PS13 and I said that's not Martin Wonnacott. It is Matt Smith.
It is Matt Smith, and he's putting on a show for us here. Look at this live from Matt Smith, putting it right out to the edge of every zone he's entered there. Matt Smith drifting for the last 9 years. His goals for this year is to be more flamboyant and add style, and I think he really is doing that. We're waiting for his score to drop in on the board for his first run. 700 brake horsepower in that car as well, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. In an S13, that's a lot of power. But this is Martin Wonnacott now on the line, because that's a chaser, and Martin Wonnacott drives a chaser.
Yeah, so it's like a bigger version of PS13, I suppose, isn't it? 4 doors, longer, similar enough shape.
Exactly. So we're just waiting for Matt Smith's score to update as well there before we bring it to you. But Martin Wonnacott has left the line in the meantime in the big JZX 100 4-door. Look at him flicking in the huge Toyota chassis over the hill here. Beautiful entry there once again from Martin Wanacott, also on the way over from the UK. Both cars there sharing a identical livery as he feathers the throttle in the 2JZ. Big angle there coming off a 5, and then just nicely gets the car onto the wall. A little bit of an adjustment onto the second wall there, but gets across 7 cleanly and across the line from Martin Wanacott.
Outstanding. You can see the torque in that car. Just see him into 5 here. You can tell he put his foot to the floor and really picked up the speed. The grip underneath that car pushed it all the way into 6. A great run for sure.
Absolutely. So on the line next, it is supposed to be at least Leon Lynch, just waiting for the graphics to update here as well. But Martin Wanacott with a pretty good banker lap there. Of course, once again, most drivers will try to put in a relatively safe lap for the first one, if such a thing exists, with the grip that they're running at the moment and all the horsepower that we're seeing out on the track. And it's fantastic, guys. Well, fair play to you. Like a full grandstand for qualifying is absolutely amazing stuff. So thank you, like from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to everybody for being here early and making this a fantastic stage for these drivers to perform in front of.
That's for sure, Mike.
So here comes another one.
Performing right now. It's Leon Lynch on the line in his S14 coming over the hill, creating loads of smoke, hitting that car off to the limiter, putting out loads of smoke as he gets right deep into zone 4. Transitions here into 5, making his way into 6, up against the wall in front of the grandstand here, just about rubbing it, doing exactly what the judges want to see. Absolute smoke machine there, Leon Lynch out on track.
Yeah, I thought he just looked a little bit tentative there as he made it onto the wall, but judges will be making the final decision for sure.
We're just waiting for our graphics to refresh here on our screen so we can drop the scores of the last couple of drivers. We'll make sure to update you on them.
Yeah, just waiting for the graphics to update. Right, yes, sorry guys about that. Just making sure that all the graphics and driver scores were updated there on the system as we go back to the line, and it should be on the line. It is indeed. It's a yellow 186, so that is another local man from Carberry, I believe, if my memory serves me right, which I might be wrong about, but it is he's from over the road anyway, and it is none other than a man who almost took the Pro 2 Championship last year. It is Danny Devine on the line, and that rhymes, and you know it.
It sure does. He puts on a Devine run for us. Only 20 years of age, driving a car with 600 brake horsepower. Daniel Devine put on a show for us last year in a Pro 2. He's going to do it here again at Japfest. Look at this line from Daniel Devine. Absolutely outstanding. Wouldn't expect any less. Through 1, through and 3, absolutely perfectly. A bit shallow here on number 4, but he corrects himself and gets back right in deep into that zone. Through 5, maybe a bit too deep, and right up against the wall here on zone 6, just to lead the body parts on the rear of that car. Absolutely outstanding from Daniel Devine, looking so strong apart from the zone 4 there, Mike.
Yeah, lots of angle there across the line and full throttle commitment with the 2JZ power, the engine of choice, of course, for many competitors here, as we see the judges here in the live stream now discussing it. Of course, judges are Kieran Hines, our head judge, with 40 million years of drifting experience, Tom Murphy and Tomas Falvey, who will be heading out, of course, to the Drift Masters Championship next weekend with his young fella Connor.
That's for sure. And we have a score in for Daniel Devine. It's 86 on the board for Daniel Devine. Quite a strong and safe score to get on the board for him. I was chatting to him and he's liking these semi slicks, so he is, Mike.
Yeah,
a bit of a change from street tires from Pro 2.
They really suit an aggressive driver. Not so much a tentative driver, because the car grips up and stuff happens like much faster than it would on the road tire, but an aggressive driver definitely gets on great.
We're back to the line now, Mike.
Yeah,
last year's Pro 2 winner is Jake Davey.
If you want to see him in leggings, you can just go on the Instagram, because he was modelling some there before he got his Snickers work pants. But it is last year's Pro 2 champion. What an up-and-coming driver he is. It is Jake Davey indeed in the Carrick Karting self-sponsored 180SX, and look at this beautiful style as we see him absolutely swinging off the steering wheel in through the windscreen there, and lights a tire on fire. Yes,
absolutely insane.
Absolutely double tire fire, in fact, from wow.
Mondello Park. Give a round of applause for last year's Pro 2 Championship winner Jake Davey, putting on a show for us here in his first qualifying run.
Yeah, what a run there from Jake Davey, Pro 2 champion last year, waving to the crowd. Once again, guys, it's great to see such a great crowd here for qualifying. It's you usually get it for the battles, but wow.
That's for sure. And the score comes in for Jake Davey. It's an 82.7, a strong score to start off his day, but definitely room to improve on that, and I'm sure he will. He's a name that you want to remember. We're back to the line, Mike. We have our next driver on the grid.
We do indeed. It is Damo Wilkinson. I was speaking with him earlier on. He's having gearbox issues, BMW gearbox in this Silvia, but he said he's finding the change just like Dave Ford, finding the change from fourth back to third difficult, but Damien Wilkinson coming back into action after a few years out of the sport. The Northern Irishman firing into Silvia and going way too shallow there, unfortunately taking the cone out of it in the process, then straightening up a little bit before the transition. A little bit of a struggle here for Damien Wilkinson. You know, these guys make it look easy, but it is very far from easy, I can assure you. And definitely looking a little bit better here, Adam, for the second part of the run. Maybe touch a left foot brake there to steady the car, but it all fell apart on the entry. And you know what? In this company, Adam, it's not something which might get you into battles after a mistake like that.
That's very sure. When you look at other drivers on the grid, Damien Wilkinson, 500 brake horsepower he's pushing out at 1JZ under that bonnet, and unfortunately that mistake around zone 2 has cost him. It's only a 56.7 on his first run. He'll have to give it everything now in his second run before he hits the track.
Yeah, this is extremely difficult to do, but these guys have been practicing for an hour yesterday and all this morning. So on the line it is John McCarthy, another old buddy of mine, John Paul McCarthy as we used to call him, brother of Paul McCarthy, who took a couple of event wins in Pro Drift and IDC in his time. John McCarthy has built, look at this car, guys, it is a Honda K24 turbo powered Mark II Escort with the widest arches you have ever seen in your life. Forget Liberty Walk, forget all that stuff, just get out the welder and a sheet metal binder and off you go and make a Mark II Escort. This thing is absolutely insanely fast. It's well over 500 brake horsepower and weighs about maybe a bit too fast. Well, he thought he was in the forestry rally there, I think John did, but
I'd say so. Doing what Escorts were probably more better off doing.
I think the Escort went back to factory reset settings there. I think, and
that's for sure.
And John he's a top driver. He's one of the best drivers on the grid, that is for sure as well. But unfortunately there, as we said about the lightweight of the car and the crazy grip that it's running, it just hooked up there a little bit before initiation, or maybe he lost handbrake or something. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but didn't look like it went well for him anyway. So
I was watching him out on track earlier on during practice, and that Escort looks insane going around the place, and
it's
he's
so
not
fast.
holding back with his driving either. He's pushing right up onto the door of other drivers, so I'm sure he's going to give it everything now in his second run and put on a show for us.
Absolutely.
But up next we have another driver, a driver that we've seen come up from the Pro 2 Championship as well, who had some unfortunate car issues in his usual GT86, but you can see him out here now in his bash car, practice car, what would you like to say? It's Luke Talley anyways, in
GTR 86.
In his 350Z stock engine, stock power in this one. Says 750 on the 15 live stream.
No, I think this is his GTR 86, Adam. I think, yeah, it's a GR86. Well, or is it 350Z? I'm not sure. Is he gone to his second car? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it sure is.
Has he swapped to his second car? Yes, he possibly has. We don't have that information, but we'll know as soon as he enters the track. That's a good shout there. Yeah, I thought he was just missing.
I was chatting to him yesterday, and the best way he described his car to me is it's a bit sick.
Oh, okay. So he's not using his Toyota chassis. It's the Nissan chassis by the looks of it. And didn't have that information there, but good spot. Of course, Luke is one of the series sponsors with Exemplar Airport Concierge Service, and I said that without stuttering.
You sure did, which I would not be able to do. But if you are ever at Dublin Airport and need someone to look after your car, sort out parking and all that kind of stuff, Luke Talley is the man to get onto with Exemplar.
Yeah, well, they'll just take the hassle out of parking basically. If you're in the long term or short term, whatever car park, you know, sometimes it can be a bit of a slog up to the main terminal. You can just drive your car front door. These guys will pick it up. They'll take it away, look after it for your holiday, then drop it back to you as you get off the plane. So fantastic service there from Luke and the guys in Exemplar. So give them a shout if you want to make travelling a little bit easier. They always look after James Dean there and Jack Shanahan and all the guys, and Connor and all those. So great guys. So
that's for sure, Mike. As we mentioned sponsors as well, we may as well give a huge shout out to our title sponsors of this championship. It's Lucky Day Competitions as well as Red Bull Energy. Lucky Day Competitions providing loads of raffles to the people of Ireland and the UK, with cars up for grabs as well as many other items that we've all dreamt of for for very, very low prices. So if you ever get an opportunity, check them out. But we're back to the line. Our driver is coming down over the hill. It's Luke Talley in his 350Z, stock power, only around 300 brake, on street tires, so he's well able to drive a bit wide here on zone 1 into 2, but makes it into 3. No, doesn't make it into 3, Mike, just missing it very deep into zone 4 there, almost gone off. A bit of a sketchy line here from Luke Talley, not what we're used to seeing from him. He's very comfortable in his GT86, but this 350Z doesn't seem to be proving him right. Tapping off to a wall though, just in front of the grandstand here. A bit of a sketchy run there from Luke Talley, Mike, so there was.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, I mean, Nissan bring out this 3.5 litre VQ35 engine, big GT sports car, and you put it out here in Mondello Park with even the road tyres, and it just does not have the legs. You can see it's slower through the course, didn't have the legs to get out to zone 3, so unfortunately in pro competition, especially in the dry, you just need the horsepower, and that is that. But Luke Talley with a 58.7 does get a score on the board, but he's going to have to really send it in over the hill in the next run to get out the 3 there to loosen up that car. Now we move it along, no time to talk about Luke anymore. It's Mark McKevitt leaving the line here at IDS round 1, firing his 180SX in over the hill. Beautiful entry, you just saw him correcting it there a tiny bit on the steering wheel, and lovely style in over the hill, which is exactly what we want to see. Now fills up zone 4 very, very well as well. Clouds of smoke billowing from the back of the 180SX, goes a little bit deep in through 5 and a little bit shy of the wall, so not a technically perfect lap here from Mark McKevitt, but overall great aggression, and I think the judges are going to like the impact but maybe not the precision.
That's for sure. That RB25 sounds insane as it comes over the hill here. A few sketchy parts of the track there, entering zone 4 and into zone 6, the outer zones. He just missing the beginning of them, but gets marked down on that. It's a 62 from Mark McKevitt on his first qualifying run.
Absolutely. Now on the line it is young Alex Butler, who was in the mix for the Pro 2 Championship last year. Just a little bit further north of here, Alex is a fantastic up-and-coming driver. Was pulling wheelies all over the pits actually yesterday evening there on his bike, in entertaining us all, but he's going to entertain us now in his BMW, which is a turbo BMW engine under the bonnet, and flicks it in. Nice initiation there, actually maybe smoke from the front right tyre there as well as he hit the brakes possibly, and a nice little dab of the handbrake, nothing too long just to settle him. Fills up the whole lot of zone 4. Now does he get 5 perfectly? Yes he does, he's absolutely spot on for 5. Now gets the car on the outside line. Look at this for precision from young Alex Butler, the man from County Louth. The boy from County Louth, because he's 15 years of age, guys. 15.
The youngest driver on the grid today. 15 years of age, and look at him throwing over that hill like that.
Guys, round of applause for Alex Butler as he passes up the grandstand. What a lap, 15 years of age.
15 years of age. He's a name you want to remember as well, especially in Irish drifting. I was chatting to him about his goals and his dreams, and it's to hit Drift Masters, and he definitely has the possibilities of it. Hitting a score of 87.3 for Alex Butler, a strong score to get on the board, Mike.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, really happy there for Alex with that one. The guys will be delighted with that as well in his crew, I'm sure. And moving it along to the man with the best beard in drifting and possibly the world, it is Matt Derrin, Matthias Derrin, but we call him Matt. And he flicks in his V8 powered BMW E36 with the big old wing up in the back. And it's a nice initiation and a okay line, not too bad into 4, maybe not the greatest style, but not too bad for sure. Lots of aggression here from Matt as he flicks it back around now, around the first wall and out of zone 6. And yeah, just feathering the throttle. Maybe could have been a tiny bit more aggressive on the throttle as he crossed the line there, but you know what, still.
You know, he was very aggressive there as he done that 360, Mike.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
For sure. After 5 years competing in the Pro 2 Championship, we know Matt Derrin very, very well. Always putting on a show for us, so he does. Now on them semi-slicks, is Matt Derrin going to be able to put it up and put a score on the board? He does. It's an 80.3 for Matt Derrin.
Yeah, absolutely. And Niall McInerney, the Pro 2 driver, still leading qualifying with an 89.7, so keep that in mind. Now a man who's very much not a Pro 2, it is Lee McFadden from the tip top of County Donegal. He has been having loads of car problems. He rang us in Group D the other day, Friday, with lots of electrical issues, running 2 power steering pumps, the GM power steering pumps now in this car, and the alternator cannot keep up with the electrical load when the fans come on, so he has got very, very, very little practice in this car. But let's see what he can do here with RB power. Flicks it in Lee McFadden style. Does he hold it? He does, with a good bit of a correction, I'm going to say, but still fantastic looking as he came in over the hill there on full lock. Now let's see what he can do here on the wall. Yeah, nice angle on the wall there, almost perpendicular to the wall there in typical Lee McFadden style, and crosses the line, guys, with absolutely no practice. Round of applause for Lee McFadden.
A great run, a bit sketchy on the entry, maybe a bit too early, going deep into zone 2 then for Lee McFadden, but he sorts himself out and gets back online for the second half of that run. The RB28 sounds insane hitting off the limiter, so it does.
Yeah, RB28, sorry, correct. So great sounding engine. 73.7 for Lee McFadden. No taking it easy on his first one. Doesn't care about that kind of thing. Now we move it along to a man. It should be Stefan Stefanov there in the burnout box. Of course, drivers have to warm these rear tires and get the bit of gel from the molds off them as well, and also get the front tires scrubbed, get the marbles off the front tires and get a bit of heat into those as well, because you really do need to lean on them at clip 2. Stefan Stefanov, travelling driver, comes a long way to compete here, and the Bulgarian native is living in Worcestershire or Worcestershire, not sure. Never can pronounce
sauce that no one can pronounce.
The sauce that you can't
Wash
pronounce.
your sister.
Yeah, exactly. The spray painter, originally from Bulgaria, 34 years of age with an absolutely crazy S chassis here. Been competing since 2012 and only missed competing in 2018 when he moved to the UK. So basically, if you do the maths, he's got about 15 years of competition experience.
That's for sure. Dabbing his toe a small bit in and out of competing here in Ireland. We've seen him last year in Watergrass Hill, but he's coming over the hill here now in Mondello Park for Japfest. Look at this. That S13 looks absolutely insane. Off the limiter through zone 2 there, a bit too deep into it. And struggles after zone 3 there, shutting it down. Stefan, not what we've seen of him. He kicks it back out there, but I'm sure it will be a 0 after that straighten.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Looked like he lost drive, but maybe just missed a gear or something. I don't know why he'd be doing a gear change in that part of the track, but I don't know. Maybe he was trying to get his down change done early or something, but I don't know.
Not too sure. I'm sure it will be a 0 for him on the board. Very unfortunate. But if you do ever get an opportunity to get up close and personal with this car, you make sure to check it out. He's not missed a single detail on it. Everything from the engine bay to the outside of it, he puts a lot of work and time into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we move it along. That is not a great score for Stefan. He's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders for the second one. No, it is an old buddy of mine once again. It's Diarmuid O'Connell from Mallow in County Cork. Loaned this car to Mikey Walsh yesterday, and actually Mikey didn't manage to damage it. He tried, but he didn't manage to damage it. So Diarmuid O'Connell, a competitor from many moons ago, but back into competition now with SR20 power. This car actually had a rotary engine in it for quite a few seasons, but Diarmuid finally got sense and got rid of the reliability gremlins, which all too often come with the rotaries, I guess, unfortunately, and went back to SR20 power. So a Nissan engine in an AE86, a chassis here. County Cork man firing it in here over the hill in Mondello Park. Bit of a tentative entry in order to get that score on the board. Intelligent enough entry, leaves a little bit there on zone 3, but generally the right idea now. Starts to fill up 4 a little bit better. Still could be a tiny bit wider if we are being very precise. Self-sponsored O'Connell Automotive, very good mechanic actually is Diarmuid, and with the SR20 noise that we all love, Diarmuid O'Connell crosses the line. Nothing too crazy at him, just gets a banker on the board.
That's
says,
for
you
sure
know what?
A safe run for sure that was, Mike. But how iconic is it to see the A86 chassis coming over the hill here in Mondello? Such an iconic chassis in drift culture, so it is.
An iconic man in an iconic chassis.
Sure is.
79.3 for Diarmuid O'Connell, so 79.3 might see him good enough for battle action the way the scores are dropping, but remember, we will be going back around one more time for each driver. Now, Christopher O'Callaghan, a rally driver, actually is on the line, and Christopher Callan actually has a very peaky power delivery in this Silvia as well. It's got a big turbo on the car, and you know what?
He sure does, Mike, and he's been looking insane this weekend. I keep saying to him, what did he put into his porridge, because he's driving remarkably. But one thing is, he's having clutch issues. I was down in the pits, I got close up and personal, got to see what the lads working on the car. A few clutch issues he's suffering with at the moment, so hopefully that's all sorted. Hopefully there's a bit of that plate left there to get him around the track.
I was just going to say that with a big Garrett 3076 turbo on an SR20 engine, you kind of need to drive it on the clutch. It's like put the throttle down, leave it there. Because if these come off boost, they take a while to get back going on the small engine.
If he does that, Mike, look at this. He flicks it in over the hill a bit wide through zone 2 there, but gets it in 3.
Oh, look at the
about, I'd
speed.
say.
Can he hold it? Look at the speed into 4. No, he can't. Just too fast there from Chris Callan. Didn't get the car rotated, and he just hit the throttle, and it kind of pushed him forward, or squirted the car forward rather than actually rotating the car. So unfortunately, Chris Callahan there, going back to his rally base settings there as well, and going off-road. So
such a shame though. He looked great throughout practice, both on Friday and yesterday. A real level up from the way he was driving last year. So I'm not too sure what's happening there. Maybe he's just trying to protect that car from having more clutch issues, trying to mind it as much as he can. But
well, it's a difficult car to drive at the best of times, and then you add in clutch issues, and it's very difficult. So Jason McInerney, brother of Niall McInerney, who is currently topping qualifying, is now on the line. The County Clare man in another BMW E36 chassis. Jason is a former rookie champion here in IDS and is looking to make his mark on the Pro Championship. Beautiful entry, no correction whatsoever, and fills up all the zones. Perfect stuff here from Jason McInerney. Absolutely bang on line so far. We're on for a top score here, guys. If he keeps this going, he might have just dropped the wheel there in the fight, but this is absolutely pinpoint accurate so far from the Clare native. Absolutely beautiful stuff, guys. Huge round of applause for Jason McInerney with a perfect lap in his E36.
Do you know what? I don't even think he's thinking about any other competitors out there today. He's like, I just want to beat my brother.
Exactly.
He wants to get a better score to his brother, and I wonder would he do it, Mike? He doesn't. It's an 84.3 for Jason McInerney.
Yeah.
Still a great score to get on the board, though, and one to be proud of. Sitting him now into 5th place on the qualifying board.
Yeah, absolutely. So not a perfect lap that I thought it was, but the judge is seeing something else there. Now we move it along to Owen Magner, the young man from pretty much across from James Dean's place there in Castletown Roach, County Cork. There is definitely something in the water. The Drift Burger sponsored new livered car here, SR22 or 3. Bored out SR20 engine here with the Neo head. This car, guys, has made 730 brake horsepower out of an SR20. He had some fueling issues before the weekend. New injectors have gone in there. The car looks to be sorted. Let's see what he can do here in the new Drift Burgers livery. And yes, let's see. It's a new brand on the market, and he is definitely flying the flag for his new title sponsor as he puts foot to floor and fills Mondello Park with smoke. Guys, round of applause for Owen Magner from Mallow with a fantastic lap there in the 180SX.
That new livery looks absolutely insane on Owen Magner's car. That Drift Burger really stand out, and a score comes in. It's on the board. It's an 86 for the 19-year-old man from County Cork. 86 for Owen Magner on his first run, one to be proud of, and should see him at the battle action, hopefully.
Yes, well, speaking of Deans, now this man works with Mike Dean, James's brother, so he's no stranger to drift cars and competition. It is Adam Kelly on the line in the big R33 Skyline with 2 JZ power, all the horsepowers as well in this car, well over 700 if memory serves me correctly. Adam, you might give an exact figure. We don't have it, but it's 2J and it's like over 700 anyway, so it is a huge amount of power in this car. Adam was rocking the shorts this morning in briefing, looking very relaxed, and yeah, let's see what he can do.
He sure was. Another man with a great name, another Adam. So I was chatting to him about his goals and his dreams this year as well, and he was saying he just wants to hit that podium. He wants to get the top spot on it. 800 brake horsepower underneath the car of that.
800, wow.
Underneath the bonnet of that car, Mike. So there is that 2JZ pushing out, and look at it as it comes out over the hill here. Lovely on the line, in through 1, 2, and into 3. The speed.
Bit shallow there though from 3, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of speed there coming into 4. A bit of a struggle and correction as he transitioned into it through 5 and up against the wall here in front of the grandstand. Nice and clean, playing it safe for the second half of his run. Adam Kelly finishing out his first qualifying run.
Yeah, fantastic drone shots there on the live stream, and Adam there just going a little bit shallow at 2. I think the grip levels might be after coming up a small bit since they got their last practice lap this morning. Track temperature is definitely getting higher, so I think that maybe it's catching on 1 or 2 drivers, John McCarthy included, just that expect the car to do one thing, and it's you know what it's been doing all morning, and then they go out for qualifying and they've got way more grip. So Adam Kelly gets an 81, still not a bad score for Adam Kelly, so 81 for Adam Kelly there despite a couple of mistakes. As we move it along, it is the Davy Daddy, it is Nicky Davy, the poor man who has to field 2 of his sons out here in competition, and not only that, but himself as well. The man behind Carrick Karting, the Sligo native, Sligo boys. That's only an Irish reference if you're watching from anywhere else, but it's about a TV show over here. But Nicky Davy with Carrick Karting there, just in Carrick and Shannon, and fires in his S15 over the hill here.
Sitting right into 3 Mike, creating loads of smoke, doing exactly as the Davies do. Again, right and deep into zone 4. Nicky Davey trying to put on a show for us here in Mondello Park. Transition to the 5, maybe a small bit late, but gets it right back online. In through 6, right on our edge of it, creating loads of smoke. It's outstanding to look at this Kerry Carton S15 go around the track. A round of applause for Nicky Davey.
Is it?
When I asked this man his age as well, Mike, he says 26 years old to me, which I'm not too sure how that works out with having 2 sons old enough to compete in this championship. But his score comes in, it's on the board, it's an 81 for Nicky Davey.
81 as well for Nicky Davey, yeah. So I've just been given a bit of information there into my ear. We have a bit of a treat lined up, an unexpected one actually lined up after qualifying. We'll get to that just as we break there for the 2 halves of qualifying. But a very good treat for all of us actually here.
It's what I think it is, Mike. I'm sure it will be a really good treat.
It's one for everyone in the audience, is what it is, says Gabe.
I wish there was one for everyone in the audience.
Well, this is a man who's going to thrill everyone in the audience now. It is the plumber for County Mayo. It is Johnny Flynn. He'll fix your plumbing, but can he put a smile on the judges' faces here? I'm not sure. He went a bit tight there on clipping zone 2 and a bit shallow now. Didn't get the car like fully rotated. Looks like he's hanging on a bit here on this lap now. Gets it back together, gets the angle dialed back in. Dabs the handbrake, bit late onto the wall there, but generally on the right line here from Johnny Flynn, the Mayo man, looking good. 2 JZ Power once again across the line. And yeah, maybe not the best line there on entry, just a bit tight over the curb there, and it kind of caught him out for the rest of the first half of the track. This Mondello track, of course, looks quite easy, but is anything but that initiation, catching out even the best guys in Drift Masters.
That's for sure, and it's caught out Johnny Flynn with a 77.7 as his score after his first run. He's done a bit of work on that car throughout the off-season, putting a fresh top on the engine and a fresh tune, but things are looking a lot more solid for him, hopefully in his second run. But we're moving on to our next driver now, a very stylish car, Mike, so it is.
Yeah, it's a cool looking car. I'm just looking here for the notes on it actually for Darrell Barnett, a guy who I've often driven against myself, a very, very experienced competitor. Look at this beautiful build here, very modern BMW chassis, and Darrell Barnett, a very capable driver behind the wheel. Always campaigned the 1 JZ Power. We don't have commentary notes actually on this, so I'll try to catch him at half time and see what's going on with this car. But look at this build here, guys. Fantastic looking BMW. Look at that, just gets it rotated. Maybe leaves a little bit on the track there at zone 3. Gets the car rotated back now around for 4.
He sure does, Mike. It sounds like he's sending it at full speed and full ability of that car. A bit shallow on zone 6 there, but that car looks outstanding with a really vibrant orange colour. Really nicely to look at.
Yeah, such a good looking car there, and a very, very experienced driver. Darrell Barnett showing up year after year here to compete in the Irish Drift Series, so very, very grateful to him for his service over the years. And his score drops in, and it's another 81.7, so a lot of scores dropping in the mid and low 80s. And of course, drivers will get championship points if they qualify highly, and it also does give you a theoretically easier battle, because first place 32nd, second place 31st, etc. So the higher you qualify, at least theoretically, the better a battle in the top 32 you get. Now we move along to the young man just about in County Waterford. It's Davin Leahy, who I do believe might be missing third gear.
He may still show. I saw this car on its actual side inside, in the pits as well. Lads welding underneath it, so maybe even some suspension issues as well.
Yeah, well, V8 power under the bonnet of this ex-Christy Carpenter GT86. It's an LS engine, a big V8. It does have the torque in order to get it done with just fourth gear. He's very fast into zone 4 here. Now let's have a listen. You know what? I'm not sure, does he have third gear back or what? Because the torque of that engine can just get it singing in fourth as well. Absolutely no problem. No clutch kicks needed and no turbos needed either. So great run there from Davin Leahy, possibly fighting mechanicals as you mentioned there, Adam, but he got it together, got it done.
That's for sure. Another great driver. We've seen him make cameos in the Drift Masters series, and I'm sure we'll see his name a lot more on some very competitive driftings, yeah, I suppose that's the best way to put it.
Driftings.
So he puts a score on the board, a strong score for the young man Davin Leahy. It's an 89.3 for the 17-year-old from County Waterford. I can hear the crowd cheering for that one. He has a strong team behind him.
Yeah, James and the guys there absolutely loving that one, I'm sure. As we move it along to another man who looked very relaxed and briefing up the front this morning, it was Ben Rogers, and he's on the line here now, smiling here in his profile pic on the live stream, and getting ready to rock under the Red Bull start line here. Ready to rock with a rebuild car for this year, and Ben Rogers A driver who's been coming up through the ranks, Adam, always showing a lot of potential. Is it about time that he's going to realise it this year?
That's for sure. You can hear that RB25 roaring over the hill here, a bit wide on zone 2, getting into zone 3. Lovely stylish livery on this car for this year. Right nice and deep into zone 4, fulfilling it as much as he can, creating loads of smoke and loads of noise that passes the tower here. Up against the wall in front of the grandstand. Ben pushing it just a bit too far maybe on the last zone there, but look at that angle as he crosses the line.
I like that. He was right on the last wall there, just absolutely inch perfect, less than inch perfect to be honest, from Ben Rogers. The judges writing down their scores here, doing their homework, and looking very somber and serious as they do so, but you know what, they're deep in concentration, and it is an 81.7 for Ben Rogers, yet another score in the early 81s, so a lot of drivers jumping into that kind of early 81, mid 80s bracket. So yeah, they're going to want to do better on the second one in order to get those points and get the better battle for the top 32. Now in the lines, as we go in reverse championship order, we're starting to get in to the really top drivers here in the series. Now in the lines all the way from the west, the County Galway man with 2JZ power in his S13. Speaking with him yesterday evening, he's feeling relaxed. He took the back off it on the wall and he's absolutely pinpoint perfect here. Long handbrake drag though down into zone 4. The judges will be marking him down 5, 6, 7 points for that handbrake drag you just saw right there. So the most Inda can hope to score now because of that handbrake drag might be a 92 or 3. But it's a great one here, hitting the limiter, very low geared here as well, not a lot of wheel speed but a lot of limiter.
Do you know what, I was listening to Dare through zone 6, just nodding my head as he bounced that car off the limiter. Yeah. Sounds absolutely insane.
Thankfully it's a 2J.
Yeah, using every one of them 700 ponies underneath the bonnet of that. I'm sure it'll be a strong score for End of Lines. Competing 7 years now, so he is so plenty of experience.
Wow, and it is a big score.
Look at that experience. It's 91.7 for End of Lines on the board, topping the qualifying with his first run.
Yeah, topping qualifying in the line, straight into first position with that run. Huge run there from in the lines. And another man who could top qualifying here, it is David Garvey in his still pretty new PS13 Sylvia with a big 2JZ power and a big old Borg Warner hanging off the side of it. So all the horsepower here for Dave Garvey. This car finished at Group D with ourselves last year. Now what can the County Kilkenny man do? Self-employed and running this team on his own with all the family, a little bit shy from clipping zone 3 there. Let's see what he can do for the second half of the lap as he just gently rotates the car onto the wall, maybe running a bit wide, running a very tight setup here actually. You can see the car's going forward, not an easy car to drive, and I think that ultra tight, ultra grippy setup might have hurt him there at zone 3 because when he hit the throttle the car moved into the middle of the track rather than floating out the 3. So 79.3 for Dave Garvey.
79.3 on the board for his first qualifying run. He says he's an OG of competing in the Irish drifting since 2006, so he says, Mike, so he's around a bit of time.
He's around longer than myself, literally. So
that's a long time.
it is indeed. So a man also very relaxed and briefing this morning, Fionn Roach, who I do believe was enjoying the local entertainments last night around town, visiting the various bars and nightclubs.
He was using the tourism facilities around Naas town. So
looking very chill in briefing this morning and very relaxed after his night out last night. Very fresh. Yeah, very fresh. So hopefully he's a bit better now in the car. But I know from quite a lot of experience of exactly the same kind of carry on that the car gets hot and yeah, it's not so easy sometimes on the Sunday when the car starts to heat up inside and it in qualifying and the pressure comes on. But Fionn Roach is on the line, former Drift Masters European Championship driver in his GT86 with 2JZ power. He flicks it very early here. Does it work out for him?
23 years of age, standing out from when he was very young, first started competing. Look at this from Fionn Roach, a Drift Master spec car going around here for Japfest 2026, right out to the edge of zone 4, transitions into 5. The speed is insane on this, Mike, set up by the Shanahan, so it is looking great for Fionn Roach. As of the moment, he's definitely looking fresh right now, so he is.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that he's even gotten to get into that car, to be honest, but to pull out a lap like that, great stuff from Fionn Roach, showing his experience there. You know, he was out on the continent. And you know what, guys? Showing his Drift Masters experience. Guys, let's hear it as he passes you. Fionn Roach has just topped qualifying with a 93.3. Huge score for the Mallow man from County Cork. In the line still in second. And Niall McInerney still in third, the Pro 2 driver. So Fionn Roach topping qualifying with that huge run there. But you know what? Jack Mahoney is on the line. the Northern Irishman, talking to his dad there, Cedric, earlier on, and Jack is feeling good, I do believe, in this BMW turbo power under the bonnet of that one as well. It is an M50 engine, so it's a BMW turboed BMW M50 engine, so interesting build here as Jack Mahoney, now the man from Marifelt in County Derry, gets ready to rock. The mechanic with 6 years of experience now at this stage. I remember when he started. It's wow, time is flying. But no, here he goes. He leaves the line and he flicks the car left, flicks it back right. A little bit of an adjustment there on initiation just to get himself lined up, but does a pretty good job of it. Fills up zone 3 pretty well and gets all the way on the outside to 4. Now feathers the throttle in that turbo BMW as he leaves 4, flicks it into 5, flicks it back for 6. Beautiful line here from Jack Mahoney as he feathers the car and now puts foot to floor. Yeah, beautiful run. Really in control there, guys. Round of applause for Jack Mahoney with a super controlled lap.
Absolutely. He did not have the best seasons last year, and he wants to get this year off, started right and get into the top of the championship board, and he's doing a good start for it. It's 87 on the board for Jack Mahoney, a strong score for him. He looks so fluid in that car. We saw him here just in front of the tower getting into zone 5. He looks comfortable and controlled, so he does. We're moving on to our next driver, Mike, so it is, and it's Dean Byrne on the line.
It is Dean Byrne, and once again, guys, we are in reverse championship order, so bear that in mind. The strongest drivers yet to come here. We're into the top 5, no, the top 6, sorry, from last year. Now Dean Byrne enters a little bit shallow there, lost angle as he came in into zone 2 there. A lot of drivers getting caught out by that extra grip which we're seeing there this weekend. Well, let's see what he can do here as he kicks the clutch in his 1.5 JZ. Oh no, sorry, that's Dean Davies' notes.
No notes on him, unfortunately.
No notes on, yeah, well,
but shuts it down before the line.
Shuts it down, in fact,
sure,
yeah.
Is he having some car issues or what's the story?
It's a 6-banger anyway, but it's a no-banger at the moment.
Yeah, it looked a bit washy there coming out of zone 4, so there's some car issues happening there. I'm not too sure. Hopefully he'll get it all sorted for his second qualifying run to get himself in the battles.
Yeah, he'll be into the pits there looking to get that car tip-top for the second one. Big pressure on Dean Byrne's shoulders, who will be looking to make his mark in this championship. Another man looking to do so is on the line right now. It is Stephen Halferty in the ever-trusty E36 BMW wagon with 2JZ power. Campaigned an M3 engine in this for many seasons, but eventually bit the bullet and went up in horsepower with 2JZ power. Didn't go to exact plan last year. Had a strong season, but not as strong as he's capable of. Let's see what he's capable of on track here. It's typical Stephen Halferty precision so far.
That's for sure.
Oh, commentator's curse.
Bit of a commentator's curse there for sure. Mike nearly losing it there halfway through zone 4, having to come out way too early as he went deep into that zone. Sends it back in for zone 6 there, finishing out the rest of his run. We can see him on the left foot brake there as he crosses the line. Stephen Halferty not doing what he usually does, a bit too wild going into zone 4 there for him. I did see this car as well getting worked on inside the pits, rushing in, the team working hard on it, so maybe there's a few issues there, I'm not too sure. Yeah, there might be. The car might not be absolutely perfect because he's so capable of just you know, the great precision there. It's a 25 for Stephen Halferty, so he'll be very disappointed with that, and he has it all to do on the second run. Now as we move it along, this is the man we spoke about on the pre-show there. It is Dylan Garvey, brother of Dave, who we saw earlier on there. This young Kilkenny man has competed in the Drift Masters Championship. Didn't have great reliability with the RB, but he's got a 2J under the bonnet now of his 180SX. He is one of the top drivers in Europe, and I assure you guys, this fella can put it up to anyone in the whole world on his day. So do not, Mike, if I was a betting man, this is the guy I'd be putting my money on to win this season.
Yeah.
The tree surgeon from County Kilkenny. Can he be a surgeon of that 180SX as he comes over the hill here? Look at this car, looks absolutely outstanding.
There we go, absolutely beautiful on angle. Look at the angle through tree, absolutely perfect here from Dylan Garvey. Maybe a tiny bit early to 4 there, has to make the car get down into the zone, but you know what, not a big mistake. He's still on course here for a huge score in the Fuel Lab sponsored 180SX. Oh, and shuts it down. Dylan Garvey shuts it down. Did he miss a gear? What happened?
Too sure. That's the last thing I would have expected.
Oh my
for Dylan
God,
Garvey.
This championship we were ready to write it off almost with Dylan Garvey there, but you know what,
we need to stop saying good things about people, because
yeah,
bad things are happening to them, then we need to start saying bad things maybe, and And get on great.
Also, I don't know exactly why, but our next driver, Jack Caldwell, who is second in our qualifying order, second last, so second of the drivers left in championship order, is out of the first run of qualifying at least, meaning that Jakub Krysiak, the former Pro 2 champion, is now on the line, and he is ready to rock in his newly rebuilt S14.9.
This car looks insane.
It looks crazy. New livery for this year. The insulation expert from the southeast of the country, self-employed, and let's see what Jacob of Jacob Insulation can do here as he fires his S14.9 in over the hill here in Mondello Park. 830 brake horsepower for this season, and he's looking to stamp his authority on the Pro Championship. Let's see what he can do. He's looking good so far as he hits the limiter here in front of us and absolutely clouds up Mondello Park with smoke. Runs the second wall. Perfect precision. Is this going to be the top score?
Insane. A huge round of applause for Jakub the Paddy Krysiak, a huge character in the pits and a character out on track. He wants to take drifting the whole way. He wants to get into Drift Masters and do Formula Drift. Give a big wave back to Jakub as he passes the grandstand here, hitting that beautiful S14.9 off the limiter. His score comes in. It's an 87.3 for Jakub Krysiak, a very strong score, putting him into 6th place at the moment. Some very strong scores already, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is reverse championship order. And of course, so Jakub Krysiak was our top driver that is still in the championship from last year, so he was last to run. So 87.3 for Kuba, and that is our first run of qualifying done, guys. So we are ready to rock for the second half. I'll get to that announcement just after this one. Glenn McKillen is leaving the line, the first of our Pro 2 drivers to come up from yesterday. And
look at his flick over the hill, Mike. He's looking a lot stronger in the second run here now, already on 73 as he flicks it back into zone 4. Oh, I jinxed him, so I did. Dropping tyres.
Did hold it
zone
up.
4. He sure did, and he's finishing out that run. He will get a score on the board, but I'm sure he'll be marked for that error there in zone 4. Lovely through zone 6 here. That car looks insane with that wee boy car delivery on the side of it. Unique colours and unique driving there.
Yeah.
Such a shame about zone 4.
Once again, guys, up from Pro 2 yesterday as we wait for Glenn's score to drop in, and I can announce, well, first of all, I announced that Glenn got a 66.7, so it doesn't improve. So Glenn is sitting currently in 26th position, but I can announce, guys, we have a treat for you after this round of qualifying. We are going to have none other than a man that I mentioned earlier on the intro. We're going to have James Dean doing a demo.
Who's he?
He's a young fella from Cork, like myself, and he is going to be doing a demo, guys, in none other than that amazing 4-rotor RX-7 FD that you see down the paddock there. So James will be blessing our eardrums with 4 rotors of pure and utter anger coming down the track. The 5-time Formula Drift champion, multiple European champion, will be out on track after this qualifying session, so stay tuned for that, as we have a man who's still in 3rd in qualifying. It is the Clare man up from Pro 2. It's Niall McInerney now making his way into the track, definitely looking a bit slower than the top Pro cars here, Adam, but
look,
you know,
at that snap, Mike, before he goes into zone 4 as well. Niall McInerney showing his talents yesterday in the Pro 2, and he's really trying to push it today in the Pro 1s. That car roars by us here in the tower. 440 brake horsepower underneath the bottom of it. It sounds a lot more powerful than that. A great run and a 360 across the line. Niall McInerney putting on a show for us.
Yeah, well, Niall McInerney will be safe for battle action, but I don't think he has the pace, judging from you know, the tyres that he's possibly on there. But yeah, looking great there, consistent. It's an 86.7 for Niall McInerney, so yeah, looking absolutely great there and consistent. So let's see how he gets on in battle action. He will be in there later on. Now David Ford is on a 51. It's just good enough for 31st position currently. Of course, we had a couple of mechanicals there, a lot of mistakes, so I don't think it's going to be enough to qualify by the time we're around the second time. So the Galway man who took top step on the podium yesterday, or second place in the podium yesterday, sorry, Justin Murphy took top place. David Ford 2nd position yesterday, and looking good in the skyline here yesterday, but not so good today. Let's see how he can do. Remember, he missed the gear there that last time.
Yeah, big wobble there as he came down on the straight over the hill a bit too early on initiation, going shy into all the zones, but correcting himself here now as he comes through 4 into 5. Those halo lights on the front of that skyline look insane. Dropping wheels on 6 though, very scrappy compared to the driving we saw of this man yesterday, unlike him.
Yeah, but he's on the grippier rear tyres at him, and I was talking to him last night as well, and he was psyched for today but a bit nervous. So it's his first time out in front of the Japfest crowd. You've got literally got thousands of pairs of eyes on you, and you come up from the start line and you come up the hill and the grandstand comes into view, and all that is in the back of your mind. So maybe nerves getting the better of Dave, but he does improve. It's a 62.3, and we do have Justin Murphy back on the line, having fixed that mechanical, possibly a half shaft. He has fixed it, maybe a little bit less exuberant in the burnout box this time, but Justin Murphy has one run to get it done. The man from literally pretty much across the road here in Mondello Park. He could nearly drive his drift car to the track, I would imagine, and yeah, he's going to be under pressure here, Adam.
That's for sure. Last year in the Pro 2 category, in his first run, he turned his car upside down coming through zone 3. He pushes hard, and he's pushing hard right now as he enters into zone 1, flicks that car over the hill, in through 2. Nice line so far from Justin Murphy. Looking very strong yesterday, looking strong today. Dragging a handbrake dub for getting into zone 4. Lovely line, keeping it. Will he get into 5? He does. Small bit shallow on transition, but makes it work. Into zone 6 here, nice and deep in front of the grandstand. Justin Murphy looking very strong here. I'm sure this will be a great score on the board and see him in battle action.
Yeah, looking good there. A bit of an adjustment at 2 there, I thought, on an initiation. Maybe a second dab of the handbrake. I thought I saw, I'm not certain, but the judges did warn against that in briefing. But as a result, he does get knocked down, but it's a 76.7, which does see him in the show, and he goes into 24th so far. So the man on the line, Declan Byrne, we just got word there that on his first run, a boost pipe came off the car, so an intercooler pipe coming loose, losing basically turbocharging then, of course, as a result. So Declan Byrne was robbed of the chance to have a clean first run. Let's see what he can do. Look at the style here.
This.
Yeah.
Sending it over the hill like there's no tomorrow. Mike Declan Byrne always put on a show, and he's put on a show right now. He's enjoying them semi-slicks as he corrects that car, gets it right deep into the zone 4 there, hitting it off the limiter. Declan Byrne, a real great character in the pits, and look at this, him on track, putting on a show for us. That car sounds absolutely insane. A refresh from last year. Declan Byrne, give him a round of applause.
Yeah, one of the most stylish drivers on the grid, the Carlo man there, doing exactly as we thought he would on the second lap and putting a big run on the board. And it is a big run. It is a 90 for Declan Byrne, putting him straight into 3rd position. So Dec Byrne cementing his spot in the top 32 for battle action later on with a huge score there. No boost issues that time, and he'll be delighted with that. And now we move it along to the first of the Davies once again. It is Dean Davey, the elder brother. As you said, Adam, coming up through the Pro 2 class relatively recently, now looking to cement his spot in the big class with the big boys.
That's for sure. Dean Davey already sitting on a 71.3. He's well capable of scoring higher than this, but now with the semi-slick tyres, will he be able to do it? Sitting currently 28, nearly in a drop zone. There's still a lot of drivers to go. Will Dean Davey be able to keep himself in there?
Yeah, so he's in 28th position here, guys. He has to get it done. I don't think it's going to be enough to qualify, and he's going to know that as well. Flicks it in over the hill here. The nerves will be huge inside in the car. Doesn't go for a whole lot of angling. Might be a good idea. It's risk versus reward, and it doesn't always work out for the better when you do take the risk. Now, tiny bit shy from the very edge of 4 there. Fed out the throttle here. Doesn't go for anything too crazy, and I think I know his thinking here. He's going to be tidy. He's going to be just nice and, you know, precise, not going for the huge style points, not going for the big impact, but going for the line score.
And that's for sure what he's done, I'd say. So Mike, already sitting on the 71.3. I'm sure this is going to be an improvement, and it is. It's a whole 10-point improvement. It's 81.3 for Dean Davey, the first of the Davies out on track. I say we'll see him in battle action.
Yeah, we will with an 81, I would say. Yeah, very intelligent there, I must say, from Dean Davey. Just did what he needs to do. A man now who just corrected me via text message. He said that he's from RD and not Drogheda, and not to insult him, it is Dean Martin on the line in Nathan Corcoran's 2J 800 brake horsepower E46 BMW. So RD, my apologies, Dean Martin. I should have known that probably, but you know what? I could say worse about you, but I won't. No, Dean Martin leaves the line and indeed initiates in over the hill here. A bit tight there to 2, like a lot of guys are getting caught out there. 2 big speed down into 4. Does he manage to hold it? Yeah, puts foot to the floor and just makes the car stick, and now makes his way up through 5 into 6 onto the wall. Oh, comes a little bit shy, but does get back online towards the end of zone 6 there, and across 7 and across the line from Dean Martin. I don't know, Adam, it might be around the same score as the first one there, and he's currently sitting down there in 26th position. So it's a borrowed car for Dean Martin, well used to the BMW chassis, but obviously it's a different office that he's very used to. And yeah, it's a 74.7, exact same score.
Very consistent, so it is. You know, a man of many talents as well. Drifting, singing,
singing.
You know, his hit track, That's More.
Yeah, that's Amore. Yeah, that was Dean on that one exactly. So it is Matt Smith this time. The graphic showing us that it is indeed the UK driver as he leaves the line, flicks in the S13. Oh, look at this for style. Maybe runs a little bit wide as a result, but you know what? It looked great. That's exactly what we want to see on a second run. He knows that he's probably safe for battle action, and he's hanging it all out there. Might be working out for the best, but he's trying at him.
That's for sure, dropping a lot of rear end off the line on zone 4. We're looking a lot tighter on the rest of his run here. Matt Smith already sitting on 82.7. I think the dropping the wheels on zone 4 there is going to be a big hit to his score, but that entry was wild. It was very entertaining to look at, and yes, there is no improvement on that. It's a 61.7 for Matt Smith, still seeing himself with a strong score of 82.7 from his first run. We're back to the line. It's our next driver, Mike.
Yeah, it is Martin Wonnacott, just trying to find his score here, which didn't update very quickly on the first one there, but he's on an 85.3. Martin Wonnacott is in the big JZX 100, so let's see if he can improve here. He's got the experience, that is for sure, all the way over from the UK as well, and fires it in here across zone 2. Maybe a tiny bit shallow, this Mondello Park layout, catching out a lot of people on initiation, as it always does. It is one of the trickier tracks in world drifting. Now using the big lint of that JZX to fill up the clipping zones here, and just comes away from 6 a little bit early, and then sacrifices 7 as well. So I don't think it's going to be an improvement for Martin. The car also looking a bit hooked up, but you know what might be happening here, Adam, is I think that a lot of drivers, if they're already in the show, they might be just gripping up the car, getting it ready for battle spec, and using that faster setup, and therefore the car is much tighter, wants to go forward more, doesn't want to float around, and then it's harder to drive. So 79.3 for Martin Wonnacott, running a lot of grip there. We move it back to the line.
That's for sure. Martin still sitting on 11th place. We're back to the line. It's Leon Lynch sitting on 82 currently. The 33-year-old man from County Cavan. There's 666 horsepower underneath that car. That's very precise. I don't know how you got that number.
That's kind of ominous, but yeah. You'll be looking at the dyno after that one, seeing what's going on. Is there a ghost in the machine?
We're watching him now as he comes over the hill with that 660 brake horsepower. 11-0 styling on the side of that car. Looks very stylish, and this run is looking very stylish. A lot of pace. He comes all the way down through the hill, slows down perfectly for zone 4, right out to the edge of the track. Lovely stuff from Leon. Transition to the 4 and up against the wall here. Bit of a drag on the handbrake there just to get right deep into it, but a lovely run from Leon Lynch, so it was.
Yeah, absolutely lovely run there from Leon Lynch. And the man from Ballyjames-Duff in County Cavan with 1 UZ power, and it is an 84.3, so a slight improvement there for Leon Lynch, getting him a little bit higher up the order. So it's 12th position, tied with Jason McInerney currently. Now we move it back to the local man as well. It is Daniel Devine on the line with an 86 in his first run. The man who almost took the Pro 2 championship last year, actually drove a Conrad straight out through the side of the block in Pro 2 at this event last year, unfortunately for him. Rebuilt the engine with his dad, Charlie, there, and all the gang, and came back stronger than ever for a very strong finish to the season. Moved up to the pro class this year, and he's going to give it his all, he tells me. And you know what, I think he has it. He has the ability, genuinely. I think he has the ability to go places at him.
He for sure does. Coming from the Pro 2 class into the Pro 1 class, I asked him what did he do to the car. He said he just power washed it, and it's looking very well. That car has a lot of power, 600 brake horsepower. Daniel Devine, always putting a Devine run down out on track, sitting on 86 at the moment, right deep into zone 4. He's looking very solid. 20-year-old man from County there. Lots of talent, and able to get to know. Look at this from Daniel Devine. Unbelievable run, as always. He hits it off the limiter. Outstanding stuff. 360 across the line.
What a run.
Mondello Park, give a round of applause for Daniel Devine.
Just loving the impact there, loving the aggression on the throttle from Denny Devine, and the judges love it as well, guys. Big round of applause as he passed you. Denny Devine with a 91.3.
Outstanding stuff. Mike, we're seeing our Pro 2 drivers from last year score nearly higher than the experienced Pro 1 drivers. They're really giving it their all out there today.
Yeah, huge score there. Huge run from Denny Devine, straight into 3rd position, the Pro 2 driver from last year. Crazy stuff. Speaking of Pro 2 drivers from last year, the guy who just beat him to it, it is Jake Davey on the line. Once again, if you want to see him modelling the leggings, you can go on the Davey Drifting Instagram there. Before he got his Snickers,
AI. He said it's not real.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just before he got his Snickers pen sponsor there. So yeah, looking lovely there. And Jake Davey, though, a great driver, but not a great score. It's an 82.3 so far, and he's not accelerating up the track here.
Good here, Mike. He looks like he's on a few issues, maybe missing a gear coming down the hill here. A late initiation initiation by Jake Davey. Not what we're used to seeing by him as he transitions into zone 4 here.
Yeah, definitely issues here in the S chassis of Jake Davey. I'm not sure what the issue exactly was. Like you said, Adam might have missed the gear. Definitely didn't have the speed on initiation, and I can't see him improving. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. He's in 15th position. He just didn't get a chance to improve, so he is safe for battle action because the drop zone is currently only like 56.7. So it's a 56.7 for Jake Davey as well. So
that's for sure, Mike. I just got it into my ear there. Gearbox issues, so he's having for the youngest of the Davies. But he's looking strong at the moment. I'm sure we'll see him in battle action, so it'll be interesting to see. But we're back to the line.
Well, speaking of the drop zone, Adam, it's Damien Wilkinson who sits in 32nd position, and he will have the live stream on in his car, and he will know that. So he will be one nervous man in the driver's seat of this Silvia here. Damien Wilkinson all the way down from the north, and knowing that he is currently sitting in 32nd position, and that if he doesn't improve, there will definitely be several drivers coming up yet in qualifying who will knock him out and knock him out of competition altogether for the day. Early bet, as we say.
That's for sure. His goals are to get into the top 5 this season, so he'll have to give it everything in his second qualifying run here to stay on the board. He's coming over the hill here with a 600 brake horsepower. Damien Wilson looking strong so far, maybe a bit too deep into zone 2 there, going into the gravel pit just a small bit, but looking a lot stronger. Oh, as I say, gravel pit, there he goes.
Yeah, as the Wu-Tang Clan said, gravel pit. So Damien Wilkinson going for the straight line initiation, actually not using a weight transfer, which we haven't seen a whole pile of in qualifying. We will see it more in battles, I would imagine, but it seemed to scrub him off quite a lot of speed. You know, when you pull the handbrake in a straight line, the car does actually stop quite a lot, and it doesn't lose as much speed when you're sideways. When you pull the handbrake and go in a straight line, it just, you know, it tends to hook up, and I think it messed up his run. And speaking of pulling the handbrake, John McCarthy, if you remember back to his first lap, absolutely had an unexpected reaction from his crazy Mark II Escort in the first one, and it's all to do here for the Tipperary man from Fettered. And K24 Honda turbo power, so K20 head on 2.4 bottom end with a big old girl strapped to the side of it. And
crazy stuff.
Yeah, and she's doing the business definitely in terms of propulsion, but obviously this chassis is very experimental, and it's not something that you can just buy a Wisefab kit for a Silvia or whatever. So getting it right is never going to be easy. But John McCarthy is a good engineer, and he's got his brother Paul as well to help out, of course. And let's see what he can do in the Mark II.
That's for sure. Make sure you're bringing our attention straight to the track. This man's sitting on 0 at the moment, so he's going to have to give it all in his second qualifying run here. So he's definitely going to put on a show for us. And if not, at least it's very unique to look at this car drifting and going sideways the way it does. We're used to seeing it through the forest trees and going at high speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So just making sure that all the track is right there after the off from Damien. And yeah, I'm getting the thumbs up here from Sean Healy, our track controller, as John McCarthy had an extra couple of seconds there to think about what he did in the first run as he left the line. Let's see if he does a bit better. Does get it into the track. It's much better from John McCarthy. Fills up the zone. A Mark II Escort. Wow, wow, wow. What a sight on track as we hear the anti-lag there in the Honda engine coming into play. Maybe a tiny bit shallow from forward, but look at the speed of this Escort as it accelerates. Too much, in fact. He drops a wheel way off track there because the Escort just catapulted him across the wall, and he crosses the line.
Memorizing to look at this car, so it is, Mike. I watched him transition there from 3 into 4, and you probably even heard me gasp as the anti-lags past the tower here with so much speed. I thought he was going into that gravel pit, luckily saving himself and getting a score on the board. 67.3 for John McCarthy. That does put him into battle action at the moment, sitting him in 29th place.
Oh, I want to see that car battling. It's a long time since we saw a Mark II Escort coming in over the hill in Mondello in a drift competition, to be honest, but the last one was green. If you can text us or get in the live stream who the last guy to drift a Mark II Escort in competition in Mondello Park was, give us a shout there on the YouTube, guys, because that is a piece of trivia that I would be interested to see how many people know. So we move it along to Luke Talley in the 350Z.
To 350Z, as we speak about battle action, this is a man that's just on the edge of not making it. Usually in his GTR 86 is what he calls this, a GT86 with a GR 86 front. He's today in his 350Z, his stock practice car. This car is competition spec, but it's not powerful enough to keep up with these pros as well.
You know
that's
street
tires at the moment.
A Renault Espace engine.
A what?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah, because Renault own Nissan, and I think that engine originated in the Espace that V6, I do believe, and it sounds like Chewbacca.
Sounds like trumpets, right? Yeah.
when he's angry. But let's see what Luke Talbot can do, and the man behind Exemplar, one of our sponsors this season, and
such a nice man always to chat to in the pits as well.
Nicest guy in the world. Nicest guy in the world as well. Yeah, so great guy there, and we hope to see him doing a bit better this time because he is under pressure. He's actually in 32nd position on the drop zone now. Damien Wilkinson has been knocked out of competition.
Look at his weight transfer over the line. Yeah. He's trying to use every bit of momentum and pace on Strat 350, and this is not working out for him, missing zone 3.
Just needs less grip. He just needed to float the car around there, needed to pump up the tyres quite a lot, to be honest, just loosen up that car and forget about speed. But still doing a lot better in the second part of the run. He definitely missed 3 by quite a way, but he's making it work for the rest of the run quite well, considering the lack of horsepower here. So guys, round of applause for Luke Talley doing what he can in a car that has no reason to be in pro whatsoever. But
that's for sure. But this exactly shows his talent. The second half of that run, he puts down a lot stronger of a run, improving his score at a 65.7. So he is looking somewhat safe at the moment. Still close enough to the drop zone though.
If you see John McCarthy, the likes of John McCarthy super fast Mark II come up against Luke Talley in that 350Z, the speed difference would be crazy. But we don't have time to dwell on that. We have another car fired in over the hill. It is
Mark McKivitt coming over the hill with his 180 SX, getting right deep into zone 4, transitioning here now into 5 as he hits it off the limiter with that anti-lag, sounding absolutely outstanding, really dialed in there on zone 6 and through 7, finishing out his run, just raising a bit of mud into the air there, so he was.
Yeah, so just going back to Luke Talley's score there, we didn't get a chance to just explain it. He's in 30th position with a 65.7, and we wait for Mark's score to drop in. Mark doesn't improve. Mark McKevitt is on a 62 from his first run,
leaving him in the drop zone,
leaving him in 32nd position. So Mark McKevitt was in 32nd coming into this run, does not improve, still in 32nd position. So a long wait now for Mark McKevitt, and a lot of drivers on scores that were underneath him. So I don't know if he's going to see battle action. Alex Butler will be seeing battle action. He's on an 87.3, sitting pretty in 7th position currently. And the young man who came 3rd in the Pro 2 Championship last year, let's see what he can do in the BMW.
And that's for sure. Look at this, Alex Butler, only 15 years of age, remember that, putting it over the hill with full commitment here into zone 3. Huge flick, and all goes wrong on the transition into 4 there, Mike. Spinning out. Maybe it was a few car issues, I'm not too sure, or was it too much pace, not being able to slow down that car. Not what we're used to seeing from Alex Butler, but he is safe at the moment, already with 87.3 in 7th position.
Yeah, just 15 years of age, had an excellent first lap there, the student from County Louth. But yeah, it's his first year in the pros. His dream is to be a drift master driver, but he's definitely on the right track as we move it along into Matt Darren. Once again, the bearded magnificent man, and he is currently on an 80.3, leaving Matt in 21st position. So he'll be looking to improve to get those championship points from qualifying and also get that easier battle bracket, but it doesn't work out for Matt. Big straight in there. I think there's a lot of grip in between 1 and 2 here, to be honest, because a lot of drivers are going very shallow at 2 and they're getting caught out.
That's for sure. I'm sure the grip varies throughout the track, so it's very unpredictable for drivers. Matt there put on a better show for us in the second half of his lap here. He's always such a character in the pits, always a laugh, always having great crack, and his partner Kat actually competes in the Pro 2 Championship as well. So if you want to see more Matt and Kat, sounds like a show, doesn't it?
It does.
Matt and Kat there, make sure you're following them over on social media as a Drift Couple.
Drift Couple, indeed.
They're great crack, and they're two very unique builds.
She can't give out to you about the drifting if she's doing it herself, so it just works. Right, we move it along. We won't get stuck in domestics. We move it along to the line, and who do we have on the line? It is Lee McFadden. Lee McFadden is on a 73.3. If you remember, had a sketchy first run there in his RB powered 180 SX. He is in 27th position. The Donegal man will be looking to do better this time. You know what? He says, I don't care. I'm still going to flick it in over the hill. He sacrifices 3 as a result. Not a perfect line there. Lovely initiation and a great style, very Japanese style entry, but not great precision. Now he does get back online pretty much perfectly for 4, 5 and 6 here, and puts foot to floor, making all those great RB noises, crosses the line, and definitely a good lap from Lee McFadden, apart from completely sacrificing zone 3 there.
That's for sure, Lee McFadden. He must be feeling confident and know well he'll stay in competition because he's now on a 78.3, a slight improvement on his score. So we will be seeing him in battle action later on by the looks of it. We're back to the line now.
He's in 24th.
24th position now, so he is. But we're back to the line with one of our guest drivers all the way over from the UK in a very unique build, sitting on a 0 currently, unfortunately, after his first run, having a few issues, is Stefan Stefanov.
Yeah, the Bulgarian on a 0, as you mentioned, Adam, and it's all to play for here. He's going to know that, and once again, the nerves inside in the car. You know, imagine you've come all the way over from the UK. You've spent probably all winter rebuilding the car, or even like Danny Devine there, power washing the car. You know, which is a huge job. And yeah, I mean, huge money goes into this sport at this level, and huge effort, and the pressure on your shoulders.
Entry, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh my God, into 3.
Too much.
Oh, too much for sure for Stefan Stefanov. Looked absolutely insane coming over the hill here, but did not work out the way he wanted it. Dropping tyres after zone 3 there.
Well, there's 2 ways you can go about it, Adam. When you're on the 0, you can say, I'm going to go easy. You can do an improving lap there, like we saw Dean Davey do earlier, or you can do what Stefan Stefanov just did and throw caution to the wind. If it works, you're way up there. If it doesn't work,
sure, he definitely went with option B. But give him a round of applause here, coming over from the UK to compete here at Japfest 2026. Stefan Stefanov, I'm sure we'll be seeing him again. He's hoping to come back for the final round.
Yeah, IDS round 1, living up to the hype already in qualifying here. And remember, we're into battle action in just a couple of hours' time, if even that, to be honest. And we move it back to the line. It is Diarmuid O'Connell, the Mallow man, in the AE86 with SR20 Nissan engine power under the bonnet there, and he is on a 79.3 so far and sitting in 22nd position, so he'll be good for battle action, but he'd be facing off against someone in around 10th position, that kind of way, the likes of Owen Magner, the likes of Jack Marwini or Martin Wanacott. So that's exactly who you don't want to be up against. You don't want to be meeting Owen Magner early, that's for sure. So Diarmuid O'Connell will be wanting to improve here by a few points at least.
That's for sure, and we'll see what he improves. He comes over the hill here in that stylish AE86 chassis, such an iconic one as it hits off the limiter with that SR power underneath the bonnet, getting into zone 4, dialing that car in as best he can to put on the line the judges want to see, into 5 and transitions onto the wall here in front, saying, oh, there goes the windscreen out of the back of the car. Absolutely insane stuff from Diarmuid O'Connell. I don't even know how he done that, Mike.
Class.
Maybe he was like, it's getting too warm in here, let's get some air.
Class, lads. Big round of applause as he passes up now in front of the bottom grandstand, and as he passes us up here in the tower, the top grandstand, guys, all the way from Mallow, losing half of the back of the car. Let's hear it for Diarmuid O'Connell.
I don't even think he actually damaged the back of the car or that windscreen. He just kicked it out or something.
It could be, he might have just opened the door and the air pressure, you know, wanted to wave to the fans and the air pressure just popped it out there. That could be it.
Quite possibly. We saw a lot of smoke on the back of it. And his score is in. It's an improvement for Diarmuid O'Connell. It's an 85.7 for the man in the 8086. 400 brake horsepower underneath of that car, Mike, putting him into...
Well, he's the guy in 11th now, so he's going to be facing off against the likes of Matt Darren, Nicky Davey, that kind of gang there, Adam Kelly. So, yeah, definitely a better position in terms of qualifying at least. Chris O'Callaghan, the Clareman, the rally driver, very experienced. Sorry, Limerick man. Sorry, my apologies. I don't have his notes here.
Like that.
He should fill out his notes and we'd know exactly all that.
That's very true.
Limerick is right. Chris is from Limerick. My apologies. He is a very experienced driver behind the wheel, but he was saying to me last night the hardest thing he found to do in drifting was to let go of the wheel. And I know from years of teaching it myself, the hardest thing to do is teach a driver who comes from a different discipline. So very unnatural driving style to Chris Callaghan, and a very peaky engine here. It's just an SR20 with a big old guard on it, and he has clutch issues as well. Remember that, guys. So Chris Callaghan up against it here on numerous fronts, misses zone 3 but doing very well so far in 4.
Absolutely looking a lot stronger on this one than it is for Chris O'Callaghan, right up against the back of the wall. This is the stuff I've seen throughout practice this weekend. Looking very strong, an improvement on his driving last year. Do you know, I'd say he's given up on that clutch. He was like, you're doing what I tell you now.
Yeah, he's just feathering the throttle there and letting the turbo spool up there. So definitely a big improvement from a 0, that's for sure. Chris Callaghan there firing the S chassis in over the hill here in Mondello. Such a great sight to see, one we've seen many times and we'll never get sick of it. And it's an 81.3 81.3 for Chris Callahan means that Mark McKevitt has dropped out of competition, and now David Ford, our Pro 2 driver, sits in 32nd position as we go back to the line. It is none other than, it is a Clareman this time, I know this car. It's Jason McInerney, who put in a big lap in the first one. I thought he scored higher. It's an 84.3 so far. Let's see if he can improve.
For sure, he wants to beat his brother and get a better score on the board. It looks like he might just do so. Look at his entry and the pace he's coming at, right out to the edge. You can see that back right tyre on the back line of zone 4. Transitions into 5 here. Jason McInerney rubbing off the wall, deleting the rear lights in that E36, looking absolutely insane as he crosses the line. A round of applause for Jason McInerney. A great run. Great run once again from the Clareman. And once again, guys, we're going to have a couple of special events later on. We're going to have a couple of passenger rides, I believe. We're going to have a demo with the buggies from the IRX Irish Rallycross, which will be cool, something very different. And of course, we're going to have that all-important James Dean demo. And Jason McInerney does improve. It's an 88 for the Clareman, putting him way up the order into 7th position, still behind his brother, who's on an 89.7. We go back to the line. It is the Mallow man, Owen Magner, in the newly livered, title-sponsored Drift Burger 180SX with SR20 something, SR22 or 3 power with the Pulsar VZR head on this engine, I believe. The 1.6 litre naturally aspirated head. Look at this engine, Mike. Yeah, 730 brake horsepower from a pretty much 2 litre 4-cylinder engine. Crazy stuff. And 86 on the board so far from the Mallow man. Let's see what he can do the second one. For sure, and he's putting on a show for us here. Owen Magner, a great friend of Conor Falsey that we see competing in Drift Masters. He's getting a few Drift Masters tips off him because that was an absolutely insane run. Young Owen Magner, only 19 years of age. Yeah, spotter quite a lot for Conor Falvey as well, of course, and knows the sport inside out at this stage. And something in the water down there in Castletown Watch, Killavullen, and you know what? Look at this. The water is working for him. Owen Magner goes into 2nd position with that run, guys. 92.3 for the Mallow man. Fionn Roach, another Mallow man just up the road from him, still topping qualifying with a 93.3 and in the lines and 3rd with 91.7. But a huge run there for Owen Magner in the Drift Burger 180SX. And we move back once again to another man very, very familiar with Castletown Roach in County Cork. It is Adam Kelly, who works with Mike Dean down there, so working on half of these cars on the grid, to be honest, in the big Skyline on an 81 so far, sitting in 21st joint position there with Nicky Davey. Now fires it in and it all goes wrong for Adam. All goes wrong for him there. Adam. All goes wrong from there through zone 2, straightening up and nearly heading into the grass in the middle of the track, but makes it work, sorts himself out and tiles himself in. A bit too deep here, dropping 2 tyres in the rear of that car through zone 6. Adam Kelly a bit scrappy there in his second run, already sitting on an 81, Mike, from his first run, so he should be safe. Maybe he was just testing out the car and seeing how fast he can actually go on it.
Maybe so, yeah, maybe so. Adam Kelly actually tied with the man on the line now, Nicky Davey. Adam doesn't improve, it's a 62. Nicky Davey tied with Adam there on 81 in joint 21st position. Of course, if the drivers tie on score, we go to their other score in order to split them. So Nicky Davey sitting in 22nd position. He's safe for battle action, I would say, but again, it's not the best position to be in terms of the draw for your top 32. He's looking way better here this time. Fires in the Carrick karting S15 over the hill here. Now gets it rotated nicely around, floats it into zone 4 very nicely. Feathers the throttle here with RB power. Tiny bit late there on the transition around 5 and a little bit late into 6 as a result. Just a bit of a mistake there, got him offline for the last part of that run, the second half kind of the run. But overall a strong lap there from Nicky Davey, but kind of did the hard bit perfectly well and did kind of messed up the easy bit.
That's
slightly.
For sure. A sure improvement as well, just a small improvement, doing what the Davies do. Nicky Davey scoring an 81.3 on his second run, only coming up 0.3 of his score, so
yeah, well,
an improvement, but it will see him in a battle action by the looks things so far anyways. But we're moving back to the line. This is our next driver.
As Eddie Power said last year, the housewife's dream, Johnny Flynn. I said he's the judge's nightmare, but he might be the judge's dream here. And fires it in on max angle over the hill, but the car hooks up quite a lot there. Loads of grip out in track today for some reason. And Johnny Flynn there sacrificing 3 as a result. So many drivers going shallow because of the I think it's just catching them out, to be honest. They really need to loosen up the cars, but we will see in battle action later on full commitment, so you'll see them filling out those zones, I'm sure. But it's 77.7 on the first one for Johnny Flynn. Big entry from him, tried to improve big time. He's only in 26th position, should probably be safe, I would say, but you don't know.
No
you don't
improvement,
know.
Mike. It's only a 70.3 for Johnny Flynn, completely sacrificing zone 3 there for himself, which I presume is where he lost all his points, but still looking strong enough at the moment. The drop zone is sitting with David Ford in 32nd position at 62.3.
Yeah.
Not exactly a really high score, but there's still time for him to be knocked out, so he has to be careful.
Well, Luke Talley is in 31st position then, and John McCarthy in 30th, followed by Glenn McKillen way up then on a 73. But David Ford still hanging on there with a 62.3. We still have some drivers to go, I would say, that scored a 0, including Dean Byrne. And yeah, it's pretty much just Dean Byrne and Stephen Halferty who have scored underneath that score of David Ford, so he has to get through 2 drivers to qualify. So nervous times here for the County Galway man up from Pro 2 yesterday. But we move it back to the line. It's Darryl Barnett who will be safe for battle action in his new built BMW. Look at this car. How good does this look?
Absolutely insane, Mike. So it does. A very stylish colour on it, standing out for sure. And look at this entry from Darryl Barnett. Corrected himself just to get back online, but he's doing a great job of it. Darryl Barnett sticking it into zone 4, getting right deep in there. So he is 81.7 already on the board. Is it going to be an improvement on it? It's looking like it might just be as he transitions for the wall in front of the grandstand.
Yes.
Oh, throws it in just a bit too hard in zone 6, dropping a tyre. Gets himself back online though. Absolutely outstanding stuff from Darryl Barnett.
Yeah, loving that run onto the wall there. Like you said, Adam, it just didn't quite work out for him perfectly. Dropped the wheel, but the aggression onto the wall there was absolutely beautiful. And it's a 76 for Darryl Barnett there. So not an improvement for the Northern Irishman, but definitely a good, consistent pair of scores. So we move it back to the line. It is another GT86 on the line now. It is Devon Leahy, the County Waterford native, just about in County Waterford there, nearly in Cork, but not quite. It's an 89.3 as he leaves the line with his V8 powered GT86. Flicks it right, flicks it left.
Stunning stuff here from the 17-year-old coming over the hill of Mondello. Oh, and there's a bit of a stumble there on transition into 4, but makes it work. Gets right deep into the edge of that zone. Transitions into 5 and up against the line. This car looks absolutely immaculate with his new kit for this season, making cameos in Drift Masters, and you can see why. Very talented young driver.
Yeah, I think he was looking for a Samsonus gearbox on the dyno literally the other day, and definitely was missing 3rd gear up to a point, but I'm not sure if they changed the final drive to make 4th gear work or if they just fixed that gearbox or got a spare. But it's an 81.3 and no such car issues, but it looks it for Devon Leahy. Now we move it along to our next driver. It is Ben Rogers on the line, and he is currently on an 81.7, so he needs to improve as well if he wants to keep his championship hopes really strong here and get that easier battle in the top 32. He flicks it in here, Adam.
Absolutely, another man from the north, Ben Rogers, all put on the show for us. A great driver, sticking it into 4, getting right on the line that the judges want to see. Ben Rogers in that 700 brake horsepower car, flicks it up against the wall in front of the grandstand. Ben Rogers right out to the edge of the track, creating loads of smoke, loads of angle across the line. Ben Rogers, that's exactly what we're used to seeing by him.
Yeah, absolutely lovely run there from Ben. And it is a big improvement, guys. Ben Rogers goes into the 90s. It's a 90.7, so 6 drivers now in the 90s, putting him straight into 5th position. So great run there from Ben Rogers. He'll be delighted with that. In the Lions also sits in the 90s. He's on the line. The County Galway man in the 180SX on a 91.7, currently in 3rd position. Can he top qualifying here? Well, guys, you're about to see a big lap here because he knows he's way up there. He knows that he's safe for battle action, and he knows that he has a chance of topping qualifying here. Inda's been getting better and better and better every year that we've seen him competing, and look at him now. He's right up there, up the top in the best grid of drifters in Ireland, and he's leaving the line. Let's see what the man in the 180SX can do. Does he go for a backwards entry? Does he keep it safe? Yeah, he's going for the big one. Does he pull it off, Adam?
He doesn't exactly pull off, Mike, but he holds it and he gets exactly on the line. I wouldn't say backwards, but it definitely looks stylish for sure. And the line, 7 years experience competing, well used to driving on this layout here in Mondello Park as he hits it off the limiter. Sounds absolutely insane. Probably my favourite sounding car on the track today so far. And the line sitting on 91.7. Will it be an improvement on that already great score?
What a run. What a run from In the Lines. Guys, massive round of applause for the man attempting a backwards entry in the lines.
Another outstanding score on the board for Enda Lyons is an 88.3. No improvement, but he's already sitting in the 90s, so I'm sure
I'm giving him a 99 for that.
A 99?
A 99.
With a flake?
Yeah, with a flake for that. Yeah, absolutely. Loving that one. Just loving the entertainment value. That's what drifting is all about. As we go back to the line, there's no time to dwell on that. It is David Garvey, the Kilkenny man, coming up the track in his PS13 2JZ powered Sylvia, as the commentary notes get blown around the tower here. And a 79.3 on the first run for Dave Garvey. Does he have it in his locker to improve? Looking like he's going a little bit better this time, that's for sure. This car is an absolute beast. You've got to check this out in the pits, guys, at the break. Get down, have a look under the bonnet of this thing. It is absolutely beautiful, and he crosses the line. A beautiful run there from Dave Garvey, and once again, get down and check out that build. It is a work of art under the skin of that car, so be sure to get down, meet the drivers. And he does improve. It's an 84.7 for Dave Garvey, so he does improve, jumps way up the order actually into 15th position, so he's going to be facing off kind of against Jake Davey, that kind of gang, maybe Darrell Barnett if the scores move around a bit. So yeah, it's going to be very, very tight in the midfield. Lots of top drivers. And now the man who is currently topping qualifying, speaking of backwards entries, speaking of trying to improve, Fionn Roach has nothing to lose here, guys. The ex-Drift Masters European Championship driver from Mallow, County Cork, sits on the line with his 2JZ powered GT86. What are we going to see? Is he going to go for the crazy one, Adam? Is he going to crash? Is he going to go upside down? We saw it last year.
I don't know. He was
hopefully
looking
not
fairly fresh in his first run.
He's going for the big Manji.
Again, look at this. The angle from Fionn Roach. He enters through zone 2 and into 3. Fionn Roach, an absolute smoke machine going around the track.
Big handbrake drag though.
Big handbrake drag, but gets himself into zone 4 where the judges want to see him. Not exactly the way though. Transitions here now up onto the water, front of the grandstand, on the left foot brake to keep that angle locked in. Fionn Roach putting down another outstanding run. I don't know will it be an improvement on his first one. Is 360 well, across the line.
I think that big Manji, Adam, looked great. He lost a lot of speed, I would say, you know, compared to accelerating up the straight. He might just not have the legs in to get it down into 4 without the handbrake drag. But even with that handbrake drag, guys, it's a second score for Fionn Roach in the 90s, 91.7 for the Mallow man, and going for it all there. Not quite coming off and improving, but it's still a huge score, so he's looking great for battle action. Now, another man from Northern Ireland, it is Jack Mahwini on the line with an 87. Once again, guys, reverse championship order, so the bigger drivers definitely showing up here. The man from Marafelt in Derry, 6 years competing, and let's see what those 6 years experience can do. He flicks in the BMW. Oh, beautiful entry from Jack Mahwini. Absolutely textbook stuff once again from the Marafelt man, and wow, all the way on the outside of zone 4 there. Feathers the throttle in the BMW now to get a turn back for 5. Flicks it back onto the wall. Beautiful line once again. Once again, guys, absolutely textbook line here, and just touches the wall and crosses the line. You know what? It mightn't have had the impact of, the last couple of laps we saw there from in the lines, etc. But the precision was so good from Jack Mahwini, and he does improve marginally, Adam.
He does for sure. So much so that he scores an 87.7. Another great score on the board for Jack Mahwini. Very, very consistent. So it's going to be exciting to see him back out on track in battle action later on. We're moving back to the line. It's our next driver. It's Dean Byrne.
Well, it's a tough wait here now for David Ford, who sits in 32nd position, because Dean Byrne is on a 0. It's an even tougher time for Dean Byrne because he is not qualifying as it stands. Flicks in the 180SX. Oh, has a big wobble at 2. Car absolutely hooked up there. Wobbles on him. Does maintain drift. Won't get a 0 for that, that's for sure. So he's still in the game here.
He sure is containing drift very, very well, doing a lovely job for the second half of this run. Maybe a bit shallow through zone 6 there, but Dean Byrne already sitting on a 0. He'll get a score here, but will it be enough to see himself in the battle action?
Yeah, another man with last minute kind of car repairs there during the week. We were sending stuff out there to a lot of competitors and from Group D, but Dean Byrne does enough to get himself into battle action. David Ford unfortunately has been knocked out of competition for him. Luke Talley sits in 32nd position, and Dean Byrne goes into 19th position, so not a usual score for Dean Byrne, but this man was going to be nervous. It's Stephen Halferty on the line, who's on a 25 after his first run. If you remember, he kind of went off there at the second corner, and unfortunately for him, it's not enough to qualify. So Stephen Halferty is cool, calm and collected, but you really would want to be when you're heading up here in front of 16,000 spectators.
He doesn't look cool, calm and collected coming over the hill here. He looks aggressive and determined, Mike, as he transitions now into zone 4, kicking the back end of that wagon right out to the edge of the track. Stephen Halferty always put on the show for us, looking a lot stronger in this run. So he's like already only sitting on 25 points. That was an amazing run by Stephen Halferty.
I'm going to do the maths here. Luke Telly's in 32nd position. Looks like he's going to drop out. That means that John McCarthy drops into 32nd position. Nobody else can knock him out yet from what we've left. I don't think, at least, unless Jack Caldwell shows back up. Oh wait, Dylan Garvey's still to run. So wait, I spoke too soon. But anyway, Stephen Halferty is on a 91.3, guys. One run to get it done, and he does it. It is 5th position, or joint 4th actually, with Denny Devine. So Stephen Halferty does it. No, I actually misspoke there. Dylan Garvey, who we are tipping to take this championship, guys, we really are, based on his performances last year. He is on a 0. And Adam, you have information.
I have information, Mike. So the reason he cut out there on zone 6 on his first run is due to electrical issues. He's still fighting with these issues at the present moment.
Wow, okay.
But he's gonna give it a go. He's gonna send it over the hill.
Often with electrical issues, if it's a bit of wiring moving around or whatever, when you hit the same corner and the wiring moves the same way, it can just actually cause the same problem yet again. So it's going to be in the back of his mind. Championship hopeful here, Dylan Garvey, the Kilkenny man. Can he hold it together? Can his car hold it together? He's doing a safe run here in order to get the car across the line. You're not going to see anything absolutely crazy because he has only one run and he will do the rest of the battles. John McCarthy sits in 32nd position in the Mark II. We all want to see that in competition, but it looks like Dylan Garvey has a car that is working and crosses the line. If he beats a 67.3, we lose John McCarthy and we gain Dylan Garvey. Drifting can be so tough sometimes, and it looks like John McCarthy might be out here. He is indeed. It's an 89.7 for Dylan Garvey, putting him into 9th position, way up there with one run as well. So John McCarthy drops out. Glenn McKillen up from Pro 2 now sits in 32nd, but he's safe because nobody is on a score lower than him who is left to run, and there's only one left to run, in fact, and it is Jakub Krychak. It's Kuba, the Pro 2 champion from a couple of years ago, who is also looking to take this crown. Last driver of qualifying. What does he have, Adam?
He has every possibility of topping qualifying, so he does, Mike. Jakub Krychak, such an outstanding driver, an outstanding character as well.
And he's only in 14th.
Yeah, 87.3 on the board already.
Wow!
Look at this entry!
Bonnet up and everything.
Krychak. Is he going to lose his bonnet halfway through? I'm not too sure.
He went so sideways that the bonnet got caught by the wind from the side.
Is this a new cooling system? I'm not too sure. Jakub Krychak raising the limiter on that car. Look at that, hit off the back of the wall. No consideration for the hard work that's been put in to make it look so well. A huge round of applause for Jakub Krychak. 360 across the line. This man always puts on a show, always scores high, taking a Pro 2 championship home with him only 2 years ago, and look what he's doing here today. It's a huge score on the board for Jakub Krychak. It's 93.3, setting him into 2nd place.
Wait, he's actually tied for 1st position here with Fionn Roach, so it's going to go down to their 2nd scores here. So let's have a look here. So Fionn Roach scored a 93.3 and then was it a 91, and Jakub Krychak scores an 87.3 and then a 93.3. So if I remember correctly, Fionn Roach did score 91 on his 2nd run.
He sure did.
Yeah, so that means that Fionn Roach tops qualifying, just about equalled by Jakub Krychak. So a crazy qualifying session, but guys, the entertainment doesn't stop there because we're going to top 32 later on, of course, but the entertainment for now really doesn't stop there.
Absolutely, and it's going up a notch for sure. As everyone here may know, probably the best drifter on this planet, in this universe, it's James Dean in his remarkable RX-7 about to come over the hill.
Yeah, this absolutely crazy engine, getting parts from all over the world, and the pretty much world champion, the best drifter in the world, is on the line right now with a 4-rotor naturally aspirated FD-RX-7.
To put a score on this one.
We might even judge it. Let's all judge it, guys, because James Dean is about to leave the line in one of the best sounding cars, and possibly the best sounding cars you're ever going to hear. Think 787B in Le Mans. Just think the best driver in the world with one of the most iconic chassis and one of the most iconic sounding engines of all time. Guys, Mondello Park, get ready for James Dean!
Here he comes, Mike.
360 across the line, guys. Massive round of applause for James Dean in the quad rotor FD RX-7. What a build and what a crazy run there from the Cork man.
Insane stuff. Another 360 body. James Dean in front of the tower here. He's not taking that car off the limiter. Absolutely insane stuff. Judges, what are you giving him?
90 from the judges on that one for James Dean.
Doesn't have qualifying, but still a great run by him.
James Dean did that for no reason except to entertain you guys. So big props there to the Cork man, and a big heads up. So wow, that is it.
That sure is, Mike. We're about to head to an ad break very shortly, but before we do so, I want to encourage everybody here to head down the pits, check out some of the local vendors that are here, as well as check out some of our sponsors. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out to Lucky Day Competitions as well as Red Bull Energy for powering the series this year, as well as our other sponsors, Kenda Tires, Drift Mafia, who actually are newly set up and have an amazing stall down in the paddock area, as well as Strom Wheels, which you see many of the drivers running today, GMD Tires, Yukon Factory, Group D, Turn Tire Distribution, Max Flow, Exemplar, Exact Signs and Lexi Brake. They are the driving force behind the IDS Series 2026.
Absolutely.
What an outstanding qualifying session we just had, Mike.
Yeah, what a great opening to the pro action of IDS 2026, and we will be back for battle action here, guys, at 2 o'clock Irish time, 2 o'clock Irish time. And I'm just going to run us through, before we end the broadcast, I'm going to run us through the top 32 qualifiers here for pro action at round 1 of the Irish Drift Series 2026 here at Japfest in Mondello Park. 16,000 odd people in attendance. Of those 16,000, I'm willing to bet there's at least 9,000, 8,000, 9,000 watching the drifting at any one time. So crazy crowds here, and thank you all once again for being in attendance and supporting this fantastic sport. So in 32nd position, it is up from Pro 2, Glyn McKillen. 31st is Dean Martin. And before I go on, if we have tight scores, we are going to just split them based on their second score. So we might have a couple of scores to rejig a little bit around here. So 31st was Dean Martin. 30th is Justin Murphy, the local man. 29th is Johnny Flynn. Then it's Lee McFadden, just about scraping in 28th position for him. 27th is Matt Darren. Then it's Adam Kelly. Chris O'Callaghan qualifying in 25th. Tied with Dean Davey and Nicky Davey as well, actually, on an 81.3. Darryl Barnett in 22nd. Then it's Dean Byrne, Jake Davey, Matt Smith from the UK, Leon Lynch, Dave Garvey in 17th with an 84.7. Martin Wanacott also over from the UK with an 85.3. Diarmuid O'Connell in 15th. Alex Butler, Jack Mahoney, Jason McInerney, Davin Leahy and Dylan Garvey get up to 10th position. Then in 9th it's Niall McInerney, also tied with Dylan Garvey there. Declan Byrne is in 8th with 90. Then it's Ben Rogers in 7th. Stephen Halferty tied with Daniel Devine in 5th position. And it is In the Lions in 4th. Third position is Owen Magner, and I'm pretty sure that is Jakob Krishak in second position with a 93.3, and Fionn Roach also with a huge 93.3, but the second score from Fionn Roach a little bit higher than Kuba. So Fionn Roach topping qualifying here at IDS round 1. We will be running them off in first versus 32nd, second place 31st order, of course, as per usual. So we're here for a crazy afternoon here at Japfest when we kick off in pro battle action at IDS round 1. Thank you so much, guys. We will catch you at around 5 to 2 from myself and Adam. Talk to you soon.
aller viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcend.
It's how we do.
Diving to me is it's like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
Fight.
Det viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcendent.
It's how we do.
Diving to me is like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
Det viktigste med drifting, det dekka. Det eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, hvor de på vei. Det har